Udah lah, lanjut aja lah, langsung. Laptopnya masih 7 detik apa? Ntar panas cok, maju dulu. Panas. Gua nggak sinar dulu atau pasti pakai hak gua. PNG gua. Go, do the go. Go. Dear. Aduh, HP gua bermasalah lagi, bisa kepawain, tolong. Bagi dulu. Bisa HP. Ngecek HP. Apaan sih ya? Jadi bawa panas boy. 3 game. Malah Discord dia.
Good roll. All right, maybe I'll take one more day off and knock out the rest of the work once I'm feeling up to it.
Aduh, dari Genshin. Halo, Alex. Halo. Ada. Buka. Saya pakai tahu. Oke. Kembali ke story biasa. Bodoh ya, kita story ya ini aja. Story yang lain. Buat jalan lagi kan? Ya harus bersihin kipas apa? Kipas gua ada berdebu banget nih. Keras aja. Buat nasi gue beri panas gua. Tadi nggak panas lagi ini. Kotor banget. Besok aja bersih lagi. Biasa hari Jumat. Tolong lah. Apa gini tiba-tiba pada gini nih? Tadi nggak gini berarti. Anjir cok musuh gua. Jir, nge-brace, gue banting buat gue. Tolong.
Illusion shattered. Let's light it up.
Man. Let's go.
Now for a little rest after breakfast. Wait a sec. Today's our big day. We're supposed to...
Keluar. Ayo kita. Penyamaran sang pendosa watak. Gak, kayak denger dikit, gue tahu dikit tentang ini. Katanya quest ini agak-agak gimana. Nyarinya atau apanya nggak tahu gue. Kayak gue bro lah, makasih. Jelas, lanjut aja udah. Kecil-kecil, ya. Penyebaran sampah dosa. Anjay.
Please sign here. This document will be effective immediately upon signing, and you two may exit the Fortress of Meripede via the regular channels.
It's been so long since we've been to the surface. Let's hurry up and... Huh?
What's happening? I'm fine, thanks.
Let's go ask the Duke.
Let's go to the Duke. Ini ke Wiro. Ke Mas Wiro. On field.
Ah, good to see you two. Is there something you wish to see me about?
Yeah, what was with that earthquake?
Ah, that. The tremor didn't originate from the seafloor. Over the years of serving as the warden here, I've developed a sense for distinguishing between what occurs on the surface and what occurs underwater.
So the fortress is okay?
If you recall our last incident, if there really were a problem, there would be crowds of inmates in a panic.
Di mana-mana salah. Ya.
Huh, you've got a point. Okay, seems we need to get... by the way, do you know what day it is today?
I believe...
Wait, seriously?
Ah, yes. Have you completed your release paper?
Yep. It's you two. Are you leaving now? That's right. Today is our last day in prison. But now that Paimon says that, it doesn't feel like we were confined here. Oh yeah, Paimon feels fond of this place now. Then be sure to come back and visit. I'll miss you.
Kangen nggak tuh? Oke.
If you've signed the release papers, then you're free to go. The guards will escort you out.
You're not going to see us off?
I knew you'd ask. All right, sure.
Well, you actually agreed. No worries, you must be busy. Paimon was just joking.
Joking.
Ah, so you do have a polite side, I see.
After being down here for so long, I imagine you must feel like you're lacking companionship. Shall I? Yeah, don't worry, we'll come back to see you. Paimon really likes the cafeteria here.
I hope you won't be here as convicts the next time I see you.
We'll do our best to stay out of trouble.
Tuh kok muka Wiro tuh merah gitu anjir.
Well, it seems our work in the fortress of
Itu ada pencahayaan atau apa sih?
That's the end. We should probably go report to him now. Next up, you're going to see Monsieur Nervillette? Please pass on our kind.
I'm sure just your regards will do, no?
I believe it would be the polite thing to do.
You're right. I've heard the Palais has been terribly busy these days. Tell him that I hope he hasn't been overwhelmed by the recent string of troubles. If you're concerned about things at the Palais, why don't you take some time to go? I believe you should still have some vacation time to spend.
Thank you for being so understanding. It's been some time since I've gone to the surface.
Coba permukaan dia, oke. Ayo. Ada. Ke atas nggak sini? Anjir sini anaknya. Lapor aja kalau gitu. Kaki kuku gue sih sakit anjir. Dipotong, dipotong ya tau.
A Palais Mermonia sure is buzzing with activity today.
Halt! Huh? Oh, it's you two. Apologies. Monsieur Neurvalet did say you'd be welcome at any time.
Oke.
Excuse me. Would you mind helping me take a...
I'll be right there. Sorry, I've got my hands full here.
Everyone's so busy. Seems a lot has been happening. Neuvillette!
Hai.
Hello. You've come at the right time, but you'll have to wait for just a moment. In the meantime, please have a seat. If you'd like to have something to drink, let the Melusine.
That's all right. We just ate.
Very well then.
Let's take a break over there while we wait for him to finish his work.
Sibuk anjir. Hakim ya.
All right. That should wrap things up for now.
Are you done with your work?
Yes, sorry to keep you waiting. Today should be the day you were released from the fortress of Meripede. And it appears that you've managed...
That's right. And we came here to see you.
A massive whale.
Do you have any idea what that might be?
Judging from your description, that cannot have occurred in any ordinary waters, but rather something like a
Lautan primordial.
whale of that size and shape cannot usually be found in the waters of Tevat. Therefore, we can only assume that child is...
Immersed in primordial seawater? What the hell? Is he okay?
Most people wouldn't be capable of entering in the first place. I'm not completely sure how he could have gotten there Yes? What is it?
Oh, right. Paimon felt it too.
Gempa, ya gempa apa
We
itu?
asked the Duke and he said it wasn't from underwater, so we figured...
It turns out that I have just received a report about this particular matter. In fact, that's the source of the tremor was here on the surface near Poisson. After the shaking stopped, the water levels in the Poisson area rose.
The water levels rose? Oh, no.
Fortunately, the water levels only rose for a short period of time, and have already returned to normal now. If the change in water levels is connected with the leaking primordial seawater, then the situation in Poisson may be much worse than it appeared.
Nadia
Okay.
should be in Poisson, right? We need to go check on her.
I would also like to go there as soon as possible, but I'm afraid I can't leave just yet. We must immediately formulate disaster prevention plans for the surround. I'll have to ask you two to go to Poisson first. I'll meet you there to check on the situation once I finish things here.
Kenapa
No
bos?
time to lose. Let's get going.
Let's get
Please be
going.
careful.
Sepeda di Rosa. Ini. Teleporter. Ah. Ah.
Oh no. What happened here?
Oh, ini kena berubah.
Nadia should be around here, right? We need to make sure she's still... We haven't seen a single soul all the way here. Oh, this is getting scary.
What will I ever do now?
Look, there's someone on the roof.
Udah dikat.
Just stay put. We're coming up. Watch your balance.
All right.
Go.
I'm not young anymore.
Oh, he looks pretty sad.
My leg. How could this have happened? It hurts.
Just hang in there. Help is on the way. You could.
Mungkin ada kebiasaan Tanya di sini. Dia dah, belum sampai.
Oh, it's Navia. She's over there. Hey, Navia, are you okay?
Navia.
You're here.
We heard there was a situation in Poisson, so we came.
Yes. As you can see, the water level suddenly rose.
Demoiselle, there was a wounded resident next to a building southeast of here. We've already transported him to safety, but we've run.
He's wounded?
He fell, so it's probably a broken leg. He's pretty shaken up. When the water level rose, he desperately climbed up to the roof. Once the water receded...
He jumped down then. Find the leader of Squad 1 and tell him to take the wounded resident to see a doctor. He should know.
Understood. I'll take over his search and rescue mission in the...
All right. You'll... I'm sorry. Where were we?
The situation in...
Right. A little earlier, we suddenly heard a loud noise. At first, everyone thought that something might have exploded on an aqua
Di
base.
bawah muncul. Oke.
The water seemed a little odd, almost like the unique color of primordial seawater. Some people, everyone on the street who happened to be close to the water, didn't have a chance to escape.
Anjir.
Those who realized what was happening started to flee in a panic, desperately trying to get to higher ground. The Spina di Rosula initiated rescue operations as quickly as possible, but there have been a lot of casualties. The water that flooded the area contained primordial seawater, so the lower levels of Poisson are still hazardous. To ensure everyone's safety, no one knows if this could happen again. All we can do for now is try our best to help evacuate.
How awful.
Oke.
And all...
It was quite frightening indeed. I only
Is there any way we can help, Navia?
thank you for being so willing to help in a moment of crisis like this. You don't know how much it means to...
Don't say that, Navia. That's what friends are for.
Anjir.
Demoiselle, we've got a situation here.
I'll be right there.
Yang dua orang itu cowok.
I need
Yang
to
selalu
go for
samping.
help.
Maybe. Dua orang itu mana coy?
And out she goes. Seems it might be a while.
Okay, the wounded are being tended to, and we finished a preliminary head count. More support has just arrived, so, of course, we should remain ready for anything, and continue doing our best to... Traveler, Paimon, would you two accompany me to my...
Huh? Right now?
Thank you.
Anjir, gimana coy dua PC tuh? Visi itu kemana?
Not a lot of people here, huh?
Well, given the time of day and the whole situation in Poisson,
Right. That's how things are now. The living are so exhausting.
Navia? Navia, what's wrong?
Sorry. I just... Maloose and Silver. They won't ever... What should I
Biar
do?
dua visi itu hilang, cok, larut.
Huh? What happened to them?
Everyone agreed on the rescue plan, but still, they were helping evacuate the residents, and
What should we do?
I've known them for so long. If I could at least hold a funeral for my father, and I know where he rests. But as for Maloose and Silver, they're just...
Dia dua ini, cok.
Everything looks so clean after it rains. Even the gravestones. I didn't expect that you'd enjoy a glass of red wine.
I can understand. Besides, the scenery here isn't...
See, it's not just me. I always want to bring something when I visit Papa. Perhaps...
How could Master ever be upset with you, Demoiselle? Yet the cemetery is the home of those who have passed, is it not? Everyone ends up here.
Buying yourself a plot in advance, are you?
No need yet. But when I do, I hope you'll let me be buried beside Master Callus.
Hey!
I'm quite serious. That way, it will save us both the trip to see each other.
That makes sense. In that case, could I be buried on his other side?
After all, besides you, Demoiselle, the two of us could...
Personally, I believe we fill those shoes.
Why are you bringing this up all of a sudden? Seriously.
But I'd really prefer not to talk about this stuff.
And what do you mean by saving me a trip?
I'd make the journey.
I promise to let them rest in peace here. But... I'm sorry for letting you see me in a mess like this.
Paimon doesn't know how to help you feel better.
I had always thought I could make my wishes come true. But now that I think about it, that Maloose and Silver have helped me so much. I'm so sorry.
You can spend as much time as you need here, Navia. We'll stay with you.
Thank you. Right, by the way, you can have a look at this.
Obana, Khan. So, everyone else is...
It's okay. I know what you're thinking. And you're right. The
Aduh,
overall
kasihan gue.
outcome indicates
Ini jadi
Right.
sedih, cok, sedih.
Think that way.
Anjir, cok, di motor kebanyakan sedih banget dah. Ceritanya.
Maloose and Silver
Yang begini nih.
have the price for saving anyone.
You're right. What you said just now was...
Oh.
Seems you've become more eloquent in the time since we last met.
The knave?
Is everything going well on your side?
Yes, my people are carrying out the mission according to your request. All the residents of Poisson have been evacuated, and we're preparing to relocate them to higher ground. As for these supplies, we have everything taken care of.
Thank you.
Wait. Do you two know each other?
We just met recently. Right.
Usually, I would call this a coincidental encounter. That doesn't quite fit this time. Besides, it never even crossed my mind. Thanks to the knave, Spina di Rosula received generous support from the Fatui, which allowed us to complete the rescue and evacuation works.
Mutual aid is essential to fostering positive developments. We were already in the area, in any case, so it was nothing. That said, I must say that you're a lot sharper than you let on. I'm sure you understand.
I apologize for all the ways in which I tested you previously. We've never worked with a Fatui before, and it's extreme. My subordinates have reported that Fatui soldiers have been observing water levels and taking head counts in various locations. I hear that they've also prepared a large amount of emergency.
This is nothing to brag about, nor do I intend to. It is simply the way of powerful organizations to act forcefully, whether they are doing good or ill. You've witnessed that firsthand, in any case. As I've told this traveler before, I know of the prophecy, and I intend to prevent the impending disaster. Lending your organization a hand was a natural first step in accomplishing that. As such, do not be troubled by this token of...
Without your help, there would have been many more casualties.
Furthermore, I sincerely regret what happened to Malus and Silver. I only wish that my people could...
Don't say that. You and your subordinates did everything you... As Paimon said, Malus and Silver didn't choose to sacrifice themselves for any specific person. And they weren't the price paid for other... I've never liked hearing people put it that way. It's like trying to relieve pain by saying some noble-sounding word.
You're right. I'm sorry for your loss, Miss. Water is life to Fontaine's people, and it also spells disaster. It's no wonder that people always say that
So, you're one who will...
Of course. That is why I'm going to Hotel Bouffe de Terre. I still have some things to take care of, and the... By the way, traveler, Paimon, one more thing.
What?
Alright, then we'll just...
That is a clever and useful conversation technique, which I do like to use when necessary. But there's no... Traveler, I'm sure you remember that I said we could work together when we had the chance. You and I both know that there may be issues with the Primordial Sea. Previously, it was the Fortress of Meripede's sluice gate, and this time it was the water levels in Poisson. These are both signal. Indeed. Allow me to share the latest intel I've received from the House of the Hearth's intelligence network. During some recent investigations, a child claimed to have discovered some ruins near Poisson. The ruins date back to ancient times, and seem to be worth investigating in... Judging by the dating of the ruins, they may be related to the prophecy and the coming crisis. The situation is becoming more urgent. My people initially came to prepare for ruin exploration. Unexpectedly.
So that's why the Fatui were all...
I wanted to take the children along, but unfortunately, Linny, Lynette, and Fremine have all... Linny told me that outside of the house, the person they trust... Which is why I want to give you this task. The House of the Hearth's members see each other as family. But Linny, Lynette, and Fremine said that they also see you as such. I'm sure you already understand how earnest they consider their friendship with you.
Oh, that somehow makes part...
The intel I just shared about the ruins could fetch a high price. But since the children consider you family, it's only natural.
Got it! So all we gotta do is go to some ruins, right?
Excuse me, but may I tag along?
You wish to join?
But are you sure you're up to exploring some ruins?
Well, I'm sad, yes. But there's no point.
Benar, aku
We still
boleh.
have a disaster on our hands. Besides, I'm also doing this for myself.
Since you put it that way, I have no objections. All right, the ruins.
Okay, the three of us will handle it. Come on, let's pack up and get going.
Beres-beres cabut. Let's go. 300. Di mana tuh? Oh, wah jauh. Bilang kaki gua yang udah. Ntar aja gue. Let's go. Ambil aja ini bunga-bunganya. Tahu penting loh. Kan ya, tahu penting kan ya. Ini kan ambil aja. Ambil semua yang bisa diambil. Ada jalan lagi, udah aman. Ada itu.
Take it easy.
Let's go. Oh, nyuruh doanya. sampai.
So, are these the ruins the knave was talking about? Whoa.
They seem to be pretty ancient, all right.
Let's go in and have a...
Just be careful.
Just be careful. Hati-hati. Let's go, let's go. Let's go. Kenavia kah? Please. Kenavia. Oh, nggak sih Kenavia. Nggak gue sedih. Ya, let's go.
Take it easy.
Ih, jadi banget please anjir. Motion blur kayaknya. Tapi gak. Nggak bisa disetting anjing bener-bener. Udah lah. Kok motion blur gua kok kayak nggak aktif ya? Astaga, ngapa lagi nih? Jangan like 5 yang komen sedikit. What the heck?
There's no escape. I see everything. Sharing my knowledge.
Teamwork is dreamwork. Busted.
Illusion shattered. Inazuma shines eternal.
Astaga, apa dibanting gak bisa harus pelan nih. Gak ada apapun kan.
Watch it. The floor here isn't safe.
I'm going in. Let's light it.
Nyangkut astaga.
Everyone hold hands.
Bener-bener cok batik nyangkut lagi. Cocoknya lah. Mati cok gua. Ini lautan primordial kan ini. Oh ya kayaknya. Wow. Air primordial kayak ini. Oh, keren itu. Kayaknya kayak dapat mancing ya.
This place has also been contaminated by primordial seawater.
Seawater.
And a lot of it, too. The Fontanian would most likely dissolve the moment they fell in.
Right! You can't go down if there's primordial seawater. It's too dangerous and it won't be any help for you to don't get Paimon wrong. We're not saying you're useless.
No, you're right. I can't do anything in this situation. I'll leave this to you.
Iya, ada yang ke atas. Nasibnya.
Complicates things.
In that case, do you want to wait for us here?
The water levels here are unstable, and there's a chance the water will rise. I'll go together with you. Perhaps we'll find the exit just up ahead.
All right. Come with us for now.
Masuk.
Oh no, it's a dead end. Let's try climbing over from the side.
Anjir nggak bisa manjat cok di situ bagi di situnya. Aku mau itu pakai sutot bisa itu sebenarnya. Gua agak mau curang dikit tapi nggak bisa. Banyak nggak bisa. Gua mau ke situ tapi nggak bisa itu loh. Mau lihat sesuatu di sana tapi nggak bisa. Gua harus di sini banget ya. Apa Cici juga mati gitu. Jatuh gua. Pintunya Jai. Santai aja, santai. Bagus keren banget. Kalau domain-domain ini. Kenapa, Cok? Lah kocak. Gue kira ada kacin gitu loh. Ternyata tidak, astaga. Apa sih? Gak boleh jatuh, anjir. Jatuh dikit deh. Gantilah nih, wow. Gantilah nih.
Wait, there's something wrong with this bridge.
Hampir anjir, lupa, Cok. Apa yang terjadi?
Demoiselle. Huh? Demoiselle, what are you doing here by yourself? Would you be standing here till dark if I had...
Maybe she just wants some time to herself, Malus.
Oh.
Yes, it would...
I must...
That's quite possible. However, you were the one...
Oh, right. It must have slipped my mind when I dozed. This is a familiar feeling, yet...
Is something the matter,
Oh, no. I was just trying to recall...
Do you remember Mr. Giverny? He requested our help before with foreign merchants who had a debt.
We were headed to see how things were going.
Ah, right.
Oh, Miss Navia. Mr. Malus. And Mr. Silver, too.
How have you been?
I've been great. Thanks to your help, those bothersome merchants finally realized they were knocking at my door.
Sometimes...
Gak penting.
Oh, yes, Miss Navia. These are some flower seeds that I prepared. Please take them. I don't know what...
Why, we can have as many pots as you'd like, Demoiselle.
Perfect. In that case, we'll swap out some of the decorative plants.
Very well.
Wait. Excuse me.
That's right.
No, it's nothing. And why are there so few people around here?
We must mind the time, Demoiselle. We still have important things to...
Huh? We do...
Well, now...
Miss Navia, here you are. My trial. Wait.
Yes, she's right, Demoiselle. It's just about time now.
Apa ini? Udah di masa lalu? Kayaknya nggak tahu. Apa nih? Gue juga bingung cutscene-nya. Apanya? Ceritanya. Jebol tuh spasi itu. Cek dulu.
Look, it's Navia. She's here.
And her two attendants are with her. Goodness, everyone's finally here.
There sure are a lot of people here to see the trial. They all seem to be Karina, Desiree, Joyville, Jolien.
Mas, sekali lagi makasih bang kemarin udah bantu aktif Bagi. Tevrina.
Why do I have no recollection of this case?
Oh, Tevrina kemarin ya? Tevrina GT nggak sih? Bukan Viri.
Please sit in the defendant's seat. Don't worry, Silver and I shall accompany you.
All right. But are you sure?
Typically, it wouldn't be.
Hey, what kind of place do they think this is?
Come on. Do they have any idea what they're...
Enough with the whispering! Could someone...
My dear Miss Navia, have you not yet realized, as all here know, you are Master Callus's successor? After you took over the Spina, you treated all of us just like the late Master Callus had. Not only you, but your butler, your subordinates, nearly everyone in the Spina...
Wait a moment. Aren't you just proving that I'm a good person?
Yes, correct. Absolutely right. And that is why you stand accused. You have helped so. We are one big fam. Therefore.
Pilih nggak jelas, Cok.
Ah, well.
How? I know all these people. Why are they laughing?
Wait just a moment. This isn't right!
Malus?
What was that, Mr. Malus? Our conclusion is very clear and unanimous. Let the court judge her now.
Stay here, Navia! You're one of us!
Demoiselle, don't admit guilt. This trial means to keep you here forever.
I wish to exercise my right to defend Our Lady. Mr. Schwamp,
She was born free and...
her actions cannot, please do not mistake.
Really? As an individual, you say? Don't forget, we are all Fontanians here. Even if everything is... Now, I speak for everyone. Our opinion is consistent. Navia should stay.
And you would call this justice? Have you forgotten how much you all...
Do you mean to defy our...
If your justice is flawed, then why should we acknowledge...
As you said, we can also have our own justice. And that...
Demoiselle,
Silver, I remember now. Everything that seemed odd, Karina, Desiree, Joyville, Jolien, Essen, and Mr. Giverny and Mrs.
Nggak ngerti gua maksudnya.
earlier, even Malus and Silver. I don't want to admit it, but they're all dead.
don't be afraid.
Absurd! Who are you to say that she cannot be judged? We are the majority, and in the nation of... Don't let them escape! We shall keep not...
Mr. Malus and Mr. Silver, must you be so stubborn? How could the two of you possibly hope to
Agak
stand
penting.
against the collective?
Cokep.
Do not resist. This judgment is fair and just. Navia belongs to... After all that happened, she should not be left alone in Poisson.
What are you saying? No more excuses!
She says we're jealous. Jealous? How could she possibly?
What's with these people?
Who's jealous of her?
She belongs to us.
Miss... No... Silence.
That's... Monsieur Neuvillette!
Such commotion is prohibited in the court. The accusations you just present, the court will adjourn for the rest of the day. In this, I shall hear no objections from any...
Our thanks, monsieur.
Please leave with me, Miss Navia. While there is...
But...
Go on now, demoiselle. This is your only chance to leave.
Loose.
My apologies. I couldn't resist making one little joke once I...
Semati namanya gue liat dia.
Malus... Silver...
Quickly, you must...
Goodbye, demoiselle.
Farewell.
Farewell. Farewell. Ada. Ini bisa makan menu village ya berarti ya.
No, wait! Just a second!
Navia?
You're awake. Good.
You're awake.
I must have been dreaming. Malus and Silver were still...
Looks...
Did all the sad feelings cause you to have a nightmare?
The ruins you were exploring suffered a cave-in. When I arrived, I found you falling toward the... You were just about to be dissolved within, but I... I think I saw 2 Oceanids protecting you. It was only for a moment, perhaps even a fraction of a second. But they gave me the... Were it not for their intervention, I would not have been able to rescue you.
Wait, did you say Oceanids? You mean like what
Jadi
happened
orang
with
yang
Masih?
dulu jadi Ocean.
Perhaps those 2 Oceanids were the people you saw in your dream.
I always told them that they didn't have to protect me.
Please come with me.
Neuvillette, are you okay?
Oh, I am quite all right. Perhaps there's...
Why do you look so stiff all of a sudden? Oh, Paimon knows. You have a type who feels awkward when there's nothing to...
I merely thought that we should give Navia some time to herself.
Huh?
Okay.
Why didn't you just say so then? Don't you think it's even more awkward to call us over like this and then have nothing to talk?
I suppose so. Ah, Sijwin. I hope all is well with her these days. Her work in the fortress of Merop.
No way, don't worry. She's doing fine down there. She's
I see. Well, that is good. I have always worried that Sijwin would need a lot.
Oh, and the Duke also says hi. Even though Siegwin made him
Kayaknya semua
he hopes that you haven't been overwhelmed by all that.
negara ini. Oke.
I have indeed been busy lately, and I also hope that everything is going well and...
He still doesn't know what to talk about. Let's chat about something else then. So, Neverlet. This isn't going anywhere. Let's try something else. How did you find these ruins?
Yes, in fact. I had arranged to meet you in Poisson, but when I arrived, I discovered that the Fatui... Amid my astonishment, I ran into the knave. We had a chat. She informed...
Yeah, we originally planned to meet up with you, but we thought you might still be busy with all those official documents. We didn't think exploring the ruins...
Oke, lanjut.
I'm sorry to have kept you all waiting like that. I'm feeling much better now. I guess we should get going again. Will you come with us, Monsieur Neuvillette?
Yes, if you wouldn't mind my company.
Yes. Yes.
Another one joins the party.
Yes.
Let's get going then.
Anjay. Ayo lanjut. Mau pakai nopal. Di
There is no...
Take it.
Here comes the catch. Teamwork is drift. Illusion shattered.
tapi damage-nya tuh konsisten gitu. Nggak kayak aja. Kadang gede, kadang kecil. Jadi gini POV-nya nih.
Another unstable path. Watch your step.
Cocoknya lah bersatu. Cocoknya lah bersatu ini gimana tuh? Ketiban batu dia. Ketiban batu dia. Mampir mati be apa gua?
Quietly now. I'm going in.
Dan benar be mati itu. Ling.
Seems we're almost at the top. Keep it up.
Ya, lanjut.
Share my knowledge.
Ini belum bisa digebuk, Cok.
Teamwork is dreamwork. Game's up. Fun's over. Busted. There is no escape. Torn to oblivion. Ha!
Lanjut. Ya ini nih doanya nih. Yang di Enkomia. Ini kan Enkomia kan namanya. Ya. Mirip-mirip. Baik. Tuh. Ini di atasnya ini. Tuh gue yang salah. Lupa lagi kayak apa. Untuk konten Punya. Alhamdulillah.
Looks like we've reached the end.
This is the place. There should not be any other hidden spaces in the vicinity.
The path sure had some twists and turns, but it turns out that this place isn't actually that big.
Stone slates. It seems like they were put here as an offering.
Ini ramalannya.
Go down and have a look?
Ini ramalannya.
Perhaps we should just leave them be for now.
There are 4 locations in total, but only 3 stone slates. The slate that should be in the first empty spot is missing.
The surrounding walls also show signs of damage.
There's something written below. Let Paimon see.
Dihancurkan. Aku akan
That this nation be destroyed. I shall record the history of its
apa ini?
future here in
What the heck?
It feels like someone left these slates and these words here for a purpose. But does he mean that...
That would fit the circumstances dictated by the prophecy, yes. Indeed, the slates...
There's a person kneeling here. She seems so dedicated. And there's a whole bunch of other people behind her doing the same.
Oh, di langit.
And is that Lady Farina in the third image? Did the Hydro Arc...
And is that a ring of people around her?
The fourth image. I know this one. This exactly...
The people will all be dissolved into the waters. And only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne. More information should be hidden in these slates, but I fear I cannot easily uncover it. Most likely due to us missing the...
Don't blame yourself, Monsieur Neuvillette. Deciphering ancient stone slates isn't...
Paimon's getting the chills just looking at
Itu yang
this.
reportinya.
This says that it's the history of the future, right? Still, Paimon feels like these images...
That's right! If the images are in chronological order, shouldn't the fourth, the waters drowning fontaine, come before the third?
And yet the order is reversed here.
If we go by timing, Lady Farina only emerges in the third image. That means that the person in the second...
Egeria, then. I had never met her, but her appearance here does match the records. The previous Archon kneeling before the floating island in the skies, as if
Did she herself commit that sin? And if not, also, I'm still wondering why these ancient stone slates are here at all. Judging from their contents, could this place be the origin of the...
But who would have created these slates and...
It seems that any further clues will have to come from Farina.
In that case, there's no time to lose. There's nothing else to be gained here.
Yeah, we'd better get somewhere safe for now.
Ya atau tidak? Oke. Selesai. Hancurin sih ya. Udah kasihan kali ini. Lanjut. Go. Ngantuk anjir gue tiba-tiba astaga. Ngantuk
Let's split
mulu.
up here. I'm going to check on what's happening with the Spina. You know how it is.
You still have energy for that, Navia?
Just head back to the Fluvsandre and have a rest then. Thanks for keeping me company.
I'll depart as well. Thanks for your hard work today. Traveler, I will go talk to Farina tomorrow morning to ask about the stone slates. I'm sure that you're concerned about this matter as well. If you have time, drop by my office. I will share the results of our discussion with you.
Are we gonna talk to her about this directly? Will that be a problem?
She has long been harboring secrets and will not give them up easily, which makes it all the more my duty to ensure that she understands the present.
Alright, we'll leave it in your hands then. You're probably the best person.
I will be carefully considering my words tonight.
Traveler,
Di-
Paimon,
Tidak
our
bisa
safe
kalau
house at the
ngomong.
Fluvsandre is
Gokil.
always open to you as ever. So, all right.
Wah, gini. Ya, alright. Let's go. Lanjut.
We're finally back!
Welcome back. We've got a special
Yay! And there's good food too! Navia! Hyman's already starting to...
Oh, that voice.
Is
Dia
that
ada
what
Mona.
I think it is?
Huh?
Dah warna. Lah.
It's you two. What are you doing in Fontaine?
Ada Muna. Muna.
Seriously, nobody just uses a scry glass whenever they've got time to just see who they'll meet on the road.
Still, we didn't expect to see you here! Wait, you're not a Fontanian, are you, Mona?
Well, I have some business to attend to here, so I booked a hotel in the city. I was just out for a stroll when I bumped into... Why did you think I was from Fontaine, though? Is that because Magistus doesn't sound much like a Mondstadter surname?
Yeah!
Well, I used to have my own surname, which was, well, some other thing. Either way, the old hag told me when she took me as her disciple, there was nothing for it, really. She really is amazing at astrology, so I changed my name to what it is now according to her wishes. To my surprise, however, Magistus is not the name. Nope. Although it is used by us in place of surnames, it generally...
Wow! Imagine including a boast in your name. Wait, are you gonna have to put that in?
I reckon so. In any case, I'd give my disciple a name like this as well, if I were to take Astromancer Barbeloth Trismegistus.
Anjir, Jo. Panjang banget.
Whoa, that's a long one.
My name means Mona the Great Astrologist. As for the old hag, hers is, in plain speech, the thrice as great Scholar of the Stars. Just take it as a title specific to astrologists.
Thrice as great? That's so...
I know, right? That's just how she is. She used to call herself Magistus, actually, but...
Talk about obsessive.
Lebay ya tu.
Magistus is thus
Diulang lebay.
part of our school, so to speak, which makes it about the same as a surname. It's all...
Terrible! But anyway, you're not Fontanian, are you, Mona?
Well, I was born in Mondstadt, yes. My parents migrated to Dorman Port, and I traveled with the old hag for...
Oh, that's a good thing then. At least we know you won't be...
Speaking of that, I'm sure you're aware that a bunch of things have happened here in Fontaine, right? I know you're not a local, but I'd avoid getting... There's something ominous about it. Well, the
Yang
water,
jahat.
I mean.
Maksudnya.
That was the main reason, yes. Just a while back, the Steambird invited me to take part in a panel and speak about the circulation. The invitation was sent quite early on. I don't think anyone expected Fontaine to be in...
What do you make of that prophecy, Mona? Just tell us what you think as an astrologist. Your word would go a long way to make things more certain and less...
What I can tell you is that I'm an astrologist, and that this prophecy concerns the fate of Fontaine. Even that, I'm afraid that this is not something that just anyone can do. If I could do it, you would no longer call... But on the flip side, the prophecy is so huge and powerful. but it must surely come from a
A visionary? Sounds really powerful and all, but does...
Of course. The old hag could do it. And I bet there are others amongst those Hexenzirkel colleagues of hers who could do something similar. All right, I'll help you. It isn't often that I see you with such a...
Thanks, Mona! You're amazing as a...
Oh, well, this is something only I can do after all. So yes, your praises are quite welcome.
That's the greatest of astrologists for you! Of all the people we know, you know this...
Indeed. That's the...
Oh, sorry. I came to see what all the commotion was about. If there's anything...
Oh, oops. Guess we were getting a little too carried away there. Well, I'll go tend to my own business now.
And there she goes, quick as rushing water. And here we are with the Spina guy giving us suspicious looks. Right, but we were able to recruit Mona's help, didn't we? Our Fontanian friends will thank us someday.
Okay. Tidur.
Good morning. To be honest, I'm still feeling kind of... But it's time to get up, traveler.
Teleport ya. Sakit perut lagi aja kan. Bentar dong kayak gitu gua. Guys, Pak S.
You're here. Is that Monsieur Durvelet and Lady Farina? They seem...
Bertengkar nggak tuh? Alright.
And yet the problem has not been properly solved. There is little space for excuses between us. It is not my intention to offend you, but please tell me where you stand. You are the High... Look at this. This is a list of the victims.
You mean...
We did not arrive in time to avert this disaster, and I will not have it happen again.
Again.
I will say this once more. You must tell me everything you know. Yesterday, I found 3 stone slates in some ancient ruins near Poisson. Do you know anything about those?
Seriously? You're questioning me like this is a court case now. But you found them in some ancient ruins,
That's correct. Which is why I came to ask you some questions. There should have been 4 slates, but one of them was missing. The other 3 feature different images. The second of these slates depicts the previous Hydro Archon Egeria kneeling before a floating island in the sky, as if confessing something. Do you know nothing of the...
I don't. I've never seen such slates.
I'll ask you again. Do you really have no information regarding the previous Archon? My deciphering of the slates indicates that the Hydro Archon Egeria once had to confess to, or apologize for, a certain sin. If any...
All gods don't have the same secrets, you know. She was herself and I'm me. I understand your concerns, but I'm sorry.
Forgive me for saying this now, Lady Farina, but I have long known of your various secret investigations. There are several indications that you have been investigating the prophecy on the sly. This is not strange in itself, considering that you are the Hydro Archon. But it is strange that you should also claim to not know any of Egeria's secrets, as well as you have never been as superficial as you have presented yourself to be, nor are you a fool. You...
Well, since you know about my secret investigations, then you should know There's no point questioning or suspecting me. You're the Eudix, but you're still my subordinate. You should be following my lead. Just trust in me. You're Archon, and do as I say. Never mind whether you can truly That's all I have to say. We do not discuss this matter. Oh, the opera's about to start.
Did Farina not notice Vanessa standing by the door? Wonder what's up with her. She was smiling. She didn't seem in the mood.
I assume you've been outside for a while now.
Oh, you noticed. Seems Farina didn't even.
She was in a great panic, though I cannot discern the reason. Our discussion reached impasses time and still I do not understand. Dialogue is the basis for understanding, so why did she keep refusing to engage? Everyone in her inner circle has noticed that we may have to create a situation in which she will have...
Oh?
Normally, people will only reveal the truth when standing trial. Perhaps we must have the hydro op.
But Farina's seen so many trials, and she's really good at dodging questions. How do we make sure that she won't just...
We will need to consider this thoroughly, join forces with various parties. If at all possible, I would prefer to recuse myself from this affair, but we must prevent This may be cruel to her, but all Fontaine is in crisis. The information a god possesses is too precious, and so we must take a chance on this. But who will lend us their aid to do such a thing?
Dapat orang ya. Kering nge-freeze. Kering nge-freeze.
Well, that's everyone. Speaking of which, it was pretty smart of you to think of hiding here.
Poisson was just involved in a disaster, so it's presently devoid of people. That naturally makes it...
And here you are drinking tea like it's the most natural thing in the world.
That's what family should do. Sit and enjoy a leisurely...
It's nice to enjoy tea here, you know? Care for...
Lend me your ears, everyone. Or perhaps one of you might like to start us off. How about you, friend?
Me?
Then, how about you?
I fear that I will cause the mood on this boat to become as somber as it is in port.
Well then, I guess we're lucky we've got a local like me to organize things. Wonderful, the spotlight...
That was a little long.
Oh, you might be right. Anyway, to cut to the chase, our friend here, as for what that is, well, let's start by saying that we'll be pooling our efforts.
Oh.
Well, it's just an expression, really. One that I just learned from Chlorand and used on the spot. So...
Huh? Didn't you say that you would be facilitating?
Oh, come now. Your work doesn't involve much public speaking, right? This is a good chance to practice. You might...
I see. And what does my boss say?
He is glad that you consider him your boss.
Okay.
In that case, do any of you have experience?
Not that I recall.
Fremine and I once used a wooden stick in a basket to catch wild rabbits when we were younger. As for Lynette,
I've also gone diving to catch some fish before.
I'm afraid not. You may or may not have heard, but Fontaine once played host to a group, though that was their name. They did not hunt animals, but rather various monsters left behind by the ancient dynasty of... Today, Fontaine's monster population has already thinned greatly, so the hunters have blended back into society. A trap comprises of the following components: bait, a trigger, and so, if we were to build a trap together...
For me, I would prefer something basket-shaped. Pigeons and rabbits. Our line of work requires a deft hand, and we're some of the best...
You used some of those techniques while moving the people of Poisson, didn't you? My subordinates mentioned that you even performed some magic for the bawling children.
Yes, and I even managed to gather some intelligence in the meantime.
I'm afraid I can't claim that as my strong suit. I prefer more stable methods, like...
Calm and steady. Exactly the kind of person who would catch...
And I can be their assistant.
I'm sure.
I'd probably use some sort of mechanical animal. Papa once bought me some small clockwork squirrels, mice, and such. When placed in the forest, they can attract others of their kind. I remember that you liked those too, didn't you?
I did. And that would be a good way to go about it. If they're realistic enough.
What about you, Monsieur Neuvillette?
I fear I do not have any related experience.
That makes sense. You usually solve problems directly, without the use of any... But I do have one more question for you. If we were to create a trap now, how would you design it?
I would like for it to be effective, but bring no harm to the prey.
Kind, as always. However, if we wanted to kill the prey in one strike, we would need a powerful implement. However, that also goes for prey that...
Wait, why is...
Only a hunter who's a true expert at subduing their prey can snare it without harm.
So, are we going hunt?
Huh. We hadn't thought of seeing ourselves as hunters.
If our means of capturing and dealing with our prey is to put them on trial, and the hunting metaphor is actually... But we shall require much more courage than any hunter to judge a god.
Oh, so that's what...
Oke, ntar dia semua apex dulu kayaknya. Main-main enak ya. Gue belum ada apex. Males main apex. Gue fokusin dulu. Gue aduh. Oke, paling tuh nanya gue. Aduh, gak bisa divasi di quick. Apa lagi nih? Apalagi nih? Astaga, gue mau keluar ya dari lab.
Take it easy.
Belum sampai lo itu.
It's been a tough few days, hasn't it? So much has been happening. Paimon didn't think the meetings would go on for so... Paimon thought they'd be at least a little frightened. Well, Fremine was, now that Paimon thinks about it, but everyone else just looked a little surprised. It's hard to say. Paimon doesn't have any experience with this sort of thing. But with you, after all, you're the most reliable person in the world, aren't you? Did you just pour some tea? Paimon didn't notice you doing that at all. Paimon's never seen that cup before.
Don't be frightened. I'm just joining you two for tea. I merely refrained from saying...
Who's that voice?
Aw, have you forgotten me already?
Wait, you are familiar. You're the voice we heard from the...
The voice from the sky, You're feeling lost now, just as you were feeling previously.
Siapa, Cok?
I sensed that confusion. Consider me a passerby, just accepting a commission from my friend's disciple on a whim. The prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesied will be fulfilled.
Diundang gua.
Such things
Bang, kenapa?
as the history of the future.
Kenapa gitu muka lu? Diimpit gua tuh mana tuh bener-bener ya.
I believe you have witnessed a failed attempt with your own eyes. Can everything in Teyvat so easily be changed?
Diundang lagi tuh.
So you caught on.
Ketawa
Just
bener-bener.
as prophecies are
Udah
usually
pakai
only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods. Could things be happening in hidden corners? Are the things that you shall see different from the fate that the...
What is she talking about? It all sounds...
I believe that you understand, right? Some things are insignificant. Ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter what will happen in Teyvat's future.
Demikian kantoranmu. Oke.
This was good tea, by the way. Thank you for your
The voice.
Sebenarnya jangan terlalu ikut campur sama masa depan. Kenapa nanti terjadi butterfly effect?
I want to hear someone talking.
Diundang lagi gue tuh. Aku ngerti apa di jet. Ngerti apa yang nggak ngerti? Tanya aja.
Hey, it's you who's getting lazy, okay?
Tanya aja.
Well, I see I've walked in on some lively banter.
Nah.
Fine, just fine. I went to take part in that Steambird pet. Not all Fontanians are pessimistic about this. One journalist mentioned that sitting around
Sama bang, aku tuh nggak ngerti. Iya, aku ngerti nggak main lagi.
their own rescue
Did she have pink hair by any chance?
Aduh, enggak. Nah apa ya? Gue mau ngejar itu jetnya, tapi gue lebih mendingin tahu, makanya gue main ini.
Prophecies are very important, but how can people allow
Banyak
their lives
tombol-tombol enggak nampak aku Oh gitu kah? Ya udah, kalau gitu nggak usah dimainin. Jadi paksa.
I did try, but I'm Goodness gracious. Are you serious?
She said that even the god's gaze has blind spots. Pretty bold if you ask Paimon. Most people would believe the gods to be all-knowing, right?
The Hexen Circle members are certainly anything but ordinary. As for the mage named N, the old hag has mentioned her a few times. She said that N is sister, but I've never met her. And if she were still alive, she'd be... well, suffice it to say that the
Coba lagi.
guy's at least
Kalau
a
aku
few
juga
hundred
game
now
fight
and
itu
has been
malah
around
harus
for longer than that.
pikiran item upgrade-nya.
The Hexen Circle
Itu ya
sounds
udah.
like a scary group.
Itu lebih
Their
apa ya?
abilities alone are pretty terrifying.
Jujur lebih ribet daripada HR.
To see you
Daripada
then the problem
Genshin nih saya bilang masih ribet itu.
Well, it's not like Paimon could
Masih
understand
ribet itu.
everything she said.
Itu nggak main asal pencet, nggak bisa. Itu ada combo kayak ada apa ya? Kayak apa namanya itu? Fight tersembunyi lah ibaratnya.
Perhaps it is something that you cannot know. Traveler, Paimon,
Nggak bisa asal pencet.
are you two all right?
Oh, we're fine. We're just a little...
I see. I guess you could consider me someone who has often witnessed fate. So far as but even so, I still hope for and believe it. Perhaps that's what he was trying to tell you. I did originally think of steering clear of all this, but I couldn't.
Huh. You do have a point.
There I
Aku mau
go.
weapon aja malah disuruh ngopi lah, ngabisin baterai lah makan.
The moment I start talking
Oh,
about work,
baterai itu ibaratnya tuh sama aja sama Genshin sama SR. Energi juga bikin buat farming naikin karakter.
even if only little.
Kalau makan mie sih nggak terlalu penting ya, itu cuma buat buff.
Same way I did.
Boleh, gue juga sih nggak makan mie ya. Nggak makan mie, minum kopi doang. Karena minum kopi itu nambah 60 baterai, dari lumayan. Wah. Ibaratnya tuh satu hari lo tuh bisa dapetin 300 itu ibaratnya baterai buat di farmingin.
Around the city, shall we? There's a few spots we always like to walk by.
Makan mie masuk daily, bang enggak mie nggak masuk daily. Dailynya itu makan minum kopi ke kios, habis itu buka toko, udah selesai dailynya. Nggak harus makan mie. Aku daily nggak makan mie. Aku daily cuman ke kopi, minum kopi, bawa ke kios yang ada doginya itu, buka lotre. Kalau hoki ya dapat polikrom, kalau enggak ya udah dapat Denny doang. Habis itu buka toko yang di random di tempat rumah. Itu dong, selesai dailynya.
My recent attempts to enter the fortress bore little fruit. Huh. Guess Charlotte still hasn't given up on that. Thus, did an Outlander friend become the focus of this report? A blind adventurer with
Peri putihnya, peri putih gitu.
trailing in their wake. It is said that this mysterious traveler, so while the fortress's interior remains a mystery behind closed doors, do not fear, for the journalist Charlotte's biggest scoop yet. Charlotte took so many awesome photos of us and we never even noticed. She hasn't been able to get a hold of anything at the fortress, so since we're easier to find... Ugh, seriously? Well, fine. Those headlines and photos do look cool, so Paimon will forget...
Bang, yang di tepi kafe itu kan ada toko itu berapa? Jual beli diajarkan kah? Di tepi kafe ada toko berapa? Oh, yang di ujung kah? Yang di ujung di belakang kafe kan itu? Di belakang kafe nggak sih itu? Atau bukan? Atau di depan di mana tuh? Di tepi kafe yang ada bambonya nggak sih? Yang itu kayak maskot gitu. Yang ada bambonya kah?
We're here! Paimon's hungry. Should we go in and get something?
Kan kafe ya, depan kafe tempatnya tuh kan depan kafe tuh mie, depan pintu kafe mie kan, di samping kafe itu ada toko bang yang jaga yang cewek itu iya di belakang kafe kan itu yang di belakang kafe kan. Berarti kan kita tuh kan mundur ke belakang dulu, ke belakang kafe, ke belakangnya itu samping ibaratnya tuh ya belakang ibaratnya. Atau yang cewek yang game arcade ada 2 sih, ada 3 sih. Satu lagi yang buat Engine itu ibaratnya tuh artefak atau relik Engine, tapi itu kayak scam box ibaratnya. Kalau di HSR atau di Genshin kenapa sih itu scam box ibaratnya. Dan satu lagi cewek yang Fury, cewek itu robot, cewek yang Engine robot, cewek yang Fury itu kayak arcade itu kayak main game, tau lah arcade lah ya. Dan cewek satu lagi tuh cewek biasa itu kayak beli.
As for me, I love the cake and coffee here.
Do you come here often?
Bukan deng, yang cewek robot itu bukan Engine ya, yang Engine cewek biasa. Iya, Engine itu bawahnya itu Engine. Kenapa Engine?
It's part of my daily schedule, apart from work. I shall have...
Itu kayak ya jual itu Engine BB berapa?
Then what if someone told you one day that
Kayak apa juga kalau
soon and you wouldn't get to eat cake
apa namanya itu?
What would you think?
Nge-comfort. Itu ya itulah pokoknya ngancurin.
Well, Paimon doesn't know either, but maybe...
Kalau cukup beli aja.
Prophecy. To be honest, I haven't paid much attention to that. No. It's the same for each...
Mengapa?
Don't be sad. Excuse me, could I...
Kalau menurut gue ya, kalau nggak terlalu penting jangan dikerafat, jangan dibeli aja.
These 2 slices are for you.
Yang iklan dokumen toko kita itu harus dipikirin juga kan. Yang iklan dokumen toko kita itu bukan toko nggak sih? Itu bukan dokumen, itu tuh kayak kaset. Itu kaset itu. Setiap kaset ada namanya genrenya. Nah itu maksud gue buka toko. Setiap kasetnya itu ada, setiap kasetnya itu ada genre masing-masing. Jadi kita tuh punya 3 tuh slot. 1 buat yang menunggu toko, 3 slot lagi buat kasetnya. Kasetnya itu ada apa namanya tuh? Ada genrenya masing-masing. Jadi setiap hari genrenya tuh ada 3 buah yang berbeda. Jadi harus cocokin. Mau buka toko. Biar ya pemasukan Denny lah yang itu.
Sure would be nice if we could always eat delicious. Charlotte and have a chat.
Jir, gak ada questnya. Astaga, gue harus wawancara dulu. Gue quest yang lain dulu ya udah, quest yang lain dulu lah. Quest si konten.
Take it easy.
Bukannya harus fokus musuh aja. Kalau fact-nya itu main kalau bisa kan ibaratnya kan kita bisa nge-parry, nge-dodge, nge-perfect assist, ya, dan juga skill sama X skill, ulti. Ya, setiap karakter itu punya fact-nya masing-masing. Tuh. Setiapnya punya fact-nya masing-masing. Dan punya role masing-masing juga. Jadi kalau buat fokus musuh, kalau bisa lo itu fokusnya ke musuh yang tembak jauh dulu lawannya. Gitu. Masih aku sih. Buat fact-nya tuh masih 11-12 sama game-game yang lain, hack and slash. Ada bedanya, fokus kita tuh naikin karakter, naikin skill, ada boss weekly-nya, ada artifact, Rodis, ada LC atau W-Engine.
Wow! If it isn't the Traveler and Paimon! Oh, have you seen the article?
Kalau bisa pelajari dulu dari awal. Kalau mau pelajari aja basic-basicnya aja udah.
Oh, you needn't worry about that.
Kita nge-parry itu tuh setiap ada mark kuning kita bisa parry. Kalau marknya merah itu nggak bisa parry, itu lebih ke arah dodge. Nanti nge-dodge. Sekarang astaga, capek banget. Udah ya. Oke, let's go, lanjut.
You've got some nerve. You just used us to make some quick mora.
Oh, you needn't worry about that. I heard that you were in Poisson some time back, so I sent you a letter to discuss just that. It's all right, though. I've set aside the amount intended for you. I've even set the tape.
Really?
You're almost a little too easy to win over, Paimon. If I were a journalist with ulterior motive...
Oh, Paimon knows you're not like that.
Still, what brings you here all of a sudden? Were you...
A friend of ours met you a while back, and when she mentioned it, we thought of coming to see you. Her name's Mona.
Ah, so you know Miss Mona as well. She's a guest columnist for our paper. Really good one, too. She's so young. So she mentioned me? What did she say?
She said that you're a real daredevil of a journey.
Nice. In which case, can this daredevil journalist dare to request an exclusive interview with...
Huh? So your article in the paper...
Oh, of course it doesn't. That was more like live photography. What I'd like...
Yeah, are we even...
Why not? If I say you're worth an...
Oh, in that case...
Oh, so that's a yes? Oh, splendid! I'll tell the editor-in-chief immediately. I'll have to apply for lighting, a venue, some props, and... Whew, so much to get done now. Talk to you later.
Charlotte.
Paimon's still got a question for you.
And what's that?
If, just for example, Fontaine were to be...
Huh. That's the prophecy you're talking about, isn't it? I mean, I do hear about it all. If you're seriously asking, then I might try and think of a way to leave Fontaine. Oh, but I'm still a journalist first and foremost.
That means I have a duty to be reporting from the scene. From what I've seen, most people don't know what they do. So in all likelihood, I'd probably still be prepping at the office for that interview.
Tapi kan tinggi ya konten ribetnya kan ya.
Really were to be
Kan
suddenly destroyed.
konten itu tinggi kan ya.
I still successfully
Oh konten
finished an
tenggelam,
exclusive
logikanya
interview
semuanya tuh
with a
tenggelam.
truly person. And then do you know what I'd do? Well, I'd write that story. I'm not a dreamer, nor am I a workaholic. But anyway, that's my answer. And on that,
That's so nice. All of a sudden, Paimon. Anyway, let's go and take a look at the sea, shall we?
Adile anjir.
The sea breeze and scenery
Ngelek,
can be a
Cok.
pretty soothing
Eh.
combo, huh?
Nah apa sih ya? Minggu jadi delay dong. Ah capek.
If it wasn't Fontaine, no, we've always been moving to the next destination, so we haven't spent much. You mean, still traveling? Huh. Feels like it'll grow mold, but it's still better than the Fortress of Mystery.
So the two of you are still here.
Oh, you're from the Palais.
Yes, I'm Isadora. Monsieur Nervillet's... Not at all. I'm well aware that you're friends of his. Actually, I'm here to pass along... Yes, inside the Opera House. The Maréchaussée fan...
A riot?
Well, that said, I don't... Lady Farina was watching a performance at the Opera House, and Mashi loudly accusing her of doing nothing about the prophecy crisis. And before she could respond, others started to join in. The crowd continued to grow and protest against the hydro...
So people have started to put the blame on Farina. Guess they finally found an outlet for the pressure they've been under.
I agree. People will naturally rely on gods.
So what happened after that? It's for...
Seeing that the situation was spiraling out of control and that further argument was pointless, the Maréchaussée Phantom had their hands full maintaining order and did not catch where Lady Farina had gone. Only...
So, you mean she's still missing?
That's right. The Maréchaussée has dispatched many people to search for her. That said, I don't think there's much to worry about. She is a god after all. Even if she were to fall into the hands of rioters, what could ordinary... Good.
Okay.
Monsieur Nervillet sent me to tell you about the situation.
Don't worry, this is more than enough.
Is that so?
Mukanya celin banget Paimon.
Well, sounds like we should hurry over to Poisson then.
Celin banget tuh muka Paimon.
Farina, she won't try to fix things in this situation. Instead, she'll look for a place to wait out, and as we also know, she may be loud and dramatic, but when Nervalet was talking to her in the Palais Mermonia, and it would be hard for her to... Paimon thinks Farina's probably taken the Well, what do you think? Paimon knows the answer, of course, but Paimon can do the... In that case, there's not a...
Ya. Ada quest lagi yang nyangkut kocak. Oh enggak. Lah. Oh iya, bukan di sini, di sana. Teleporto.
This place looks deserted. Guess all the survivors must have evacuated already. All that's left here are signs of devastation.
Ntar ya, gue mau ini apa sebentar.
Really be here? Let's try to find her as soon as possible.
Kamu bentar ya. Aduh.
Navigating the world is a whole lot easier with a few different
Bocah kapan sih,
options
Nat?
to choose from.
Baring bentar, aku baring. Seminggu aja delay itu kayaknya enggak. Baring bentar, baring. Capek. Bosan anjir, gua sumpah. Gua bosan. Kurang tidur, gocok.
Good roll. All right, maybe I'll take one more day off and knock out the rest of the work once I'm feeling up to it.
Biasanya jam nasi sore itu gua tidur dah. Ya. Di sini tidur bentar. Malam lanjut HSR gua. Even baru kecil belum. Even aku kecil. Nggak FK sih, lebih tepatnya gua baring anjir. Karena FK. Gocek. Aduh, kapan gua naik lagi ya? Gue udah stuck kan. 62, 61, 62, 61 terus stuck motor. Kamu harus nyari. Ya.
I got a new letter from an informant. Looks like the situation has changed again.
Udah record apa? Rekordannya gagal, ada kesalahan teknis, ada pulang. Tuh kalau gitu. Udah capek jawab dulu di kursi tuh.
Good roll. All right, maybe I'll take one more day off and knock out the rest of the work once I'm feeling up to it.
Mau puluh lah. Oke lagi story. Tuh story karakter. Juga kelarin.
I got a new letter from an informant. Looks like the situation has changed again. Good roll. All right, maybe I'll take one more day off and knock out the rest of the work once I'm feeling up to it.
Tinggal ngantuk ini. Bikin pulsa. Belum selesai story Alice, selesai story ini dulu lah. Udah lanjut. Nggak boleh story itu harus konsisten. Pas mulu dulu. Hujan gue cok mau nyampe deh.
Navigating the world is a whole lot easier with a few different identities to choose from. Need me to come up with some for you?
Wait, what is month?
I got a new letter from an informant. Looks like the situation has changed again.
Ada suara dong, ya? Oh, belum digedein suaranya. Baik. Salam dulu. Sudah bangkit. Namanya lagi.
Navigating the world is a whole lot easier with a few different identities to choose from. Need me to come up with some for you?
Genshin konsol nggak salah? Saya pakai controller kan? Bisa ke controller gue dari jauh ya. Benarin aja gue. Wait, dulu. Ada banyak lagi. Roti satu. Kalau dulu. Kembali. Let's go. Terlanjut terus to the back to story. Gimana itu? Di bawah. Jalan terjun. Yang Frina tuh. Pulina. Jadi gede banget ikannya. Kan asli kan nih? What the heck, udah tahu tuh gua. Udah tahu gua. Asli gua lihat.
That's Farina, right over there. She really is here.
Should I just give up? This is all meaningless.
Ya bikin
What was
Nek
meant to
apa
happen
Kak Liu itu sedih ya.
Everyone's dead. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Give up, Farina. There's no point in holding out. I'm sorry. But what can I even do other than to repeat meaningless apologies over and over? Who's that?
Don't worry, Farina. It's just us.
So it is you, blonde traveler from another land. Why, I almost thought you were someone from that mob of my ignorant subjects. Come to kneel and beg for my forgiveness.
Farina, you were crying just now, weren't you? The tear stains on your face are obvious.
What do you mean, tear stains? Oh, I remember. The show at the Opera House earlier this morning was so moving. I'm still trying to process it. Who did that uncivilized rabble think they were? Disturbing my enjoyment of the arts. They even dare to tout their
Jadi
own
selainnya
fun.
kosong
I
Cok.
must teach them a lesson. I can just imagine their twisted and frustrated faces when... Oh, and I'm sure Nouvellette and those people from the Marish Chaussee Phantom are freaking...
Hey, there she is! The Hydro Archon's over there! Quick, after her!
Farina, those people seem to be after you.
They are... That's against the rules.
Farina just ran off! Quick, we have to catch up with her!
Bukannya hilangin dulu, sobat lupa. Saan lupa.
This should be the place, right? Hey, Farina! There's a good hiding spot over here. Quick, come to Paimon before the rest of them catch up to you.
What is this place?
Hurry, they're almost here!
Fine. I suppose haste is warranted. Lead the way.
Lanjut. Anjir lah, baru mau mencet satu. Kenapa?
Paimon's exhausted.
Bubuk apa, Cok?
No, I mean, I merely gave in to the sheer enthusiasm they display. You're right.
Yep, that's a good girl.
What's happening? The ground's shaking.
Yeah, a quake of this kind preceded the flooding in Poisson, didn't it?
It can't be. It's happening again.
Well, there's no need to worry too much about that. Nouvellette's made some emergency...
Yeah, I hope you're right. But the people of Poisson... It's true. I've been investigating the prophecy for hundreds of years. I once had informants all over Teyvat, searching for clues, and I've tried all kinds of ways too to hold back the sea. Anything to keep the coastline from it, but all my efforts proved to be futile in the end. We cannot make an enemy of the divine. No matter what we do, the will of the heavenly principles will have its way, and the prophecy shall be fulfilled. Give up. I do love the sound of that phrase. It would mean finally coming to terms with fate. Indeed, I've thought about giving up so many times. Suspect fate is really unreasonable, isn't it? But just now, it all became clear to me. I still don't have the right to, as long as the final moment hasn't come. Don't worry. I will keep. Well, that's enough for now. I got the impulse to play the stricken maiden, but honestly, considering my rank and station, don't take any of what I just said seriously. How could I possibly let
Come on! Paimon could have sworn you were actually being honest just...
Share my burden. That's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be my duty alone. A witness. Yes, I've heard that you came to Teyvat, and if Teyvat is, in its entirety, a show on a stage, then you're just a spectator. If...
Okay. Achin. Jadi penunjukan aja.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes my opening performance. Now, without further ado, we may proceed.
So, this is what it is. Do not forget, however, that I am Fosalor, the god of justice.
May I interpret these words as your refusal to stand trial? In that case, you will have the opportunity to defend your honor through...
You would draw your blade against a god?
Pedang ini.
I see. It seems like you have made up your...
I can't believe it.
What is going on?
Wow, how utterly...
Lady Farina, what is the...
It would seem that there has been a misunderstanding.
Looking for excuses again, huh?
I raised my hands just now to indicate my acceptance of the trial. I will admit that I'm sorry, everyone. I was unable to protect the people of Poisson. You are not the only ones to be disappointed in me. But now, it is time for the Hydro Archon. I, Farina, will use this trial to show the world that this time, I will applaud and rejoice. One of the most outrageous, and mark my words, this shall be one of the most exhilarating and brilliant shows ever to grace the stage of Fontaine! Woohoo! Now we're making...
Why does it feel like Farina just took over the whole thing? Like, come on! Also, even though she's still acting super dramatic, she is...
All right, then. Who would...
The court asks the prosecutor to please take the stand.
Masih mulia.
Is that so? Very well. Then please speak, witness of
Terima kasih ya Boy. Menjadi MC.
Also, please allow me to ask, Masih, fine, just how much work did you do to...
Well, we did do a lot of prep after the meeting that day.
I can go over the tasks assigned to the Spina di Rosula, since they were rather straightforward and easy.
Navia, the president of the Spina di Rosula.
Most of the people who participated in the disturbance this morning were my subordinates. They changed into plain clothes and came to the opera house as regular. The people's resentment against their archon has been building as more and more of the prophecy is fulfilled. Moreover, according to our understanding and analysis of you, when something like that occurred, you would likely flee the scene, and so we arranged for a second group to lie in wait there.
So, you mean the ones who scoured the...
And their goal was to force you to step into the giant magic box so you may personally participate in the greatest...
That's right. That house was a magic box.
As the super ultimate version of the setup that I used when I first performed at the volume of the box was increased by a whole order of magnitude, and the distance it traversed was the entire gap between Poisson and Aranias, was an archon instead of a human. My thanks, Farina. Without your help, we could never have pulled off such Of course, this performance was only made possible with Father's support. The House of the Hearth spent a massive amount of labor in Mora to pull this off. We had to select a location, construct a giant magic box, dig a tunnel, and open up a path.
So, in other words, the earthquake that we felt within the...
That's right. It wasn't a sign of another disaster to come.
Then, I can guess Nervilette and Cloran's parts. You gathered a crowd, prepared a stage, and made sure that the champion duelist... Also that as soon as I appeared on the stage, the
Yes, that is correct.
Well, Cloran, I must commend you for your courage. Only the most outstanding champion
Thank you.
As for you, traveler, I suppose your role was to keep me
Ya, gua jadi nggak ngantuk nih. Let's go.
conversation once you'd make sure that I didn't notice anything amiss before revealing yourself as my prosecutor once we'd arrived onto this. Oh? It's fine. It matters not. The stage is already set, so there's no reason to disappoint the audience. Let's see this trial.
Tapi jadi perlawanan dulu. Apa yang pernah katakan kepada aku sebelum sampai di pengadilan?
Sir Prosecutor, please allow me to pass. This is a document that Miss Charlotte applied for and received permission to share with you during the trial. According to her...
Huh? Charlotte wanted to give us something? Oh, so she's... Oh, let Paimon see. Isn't this the exclusive Wait, then that means this document is a perfect timeline. So in other words, we can refer to this anthology of evidence every time we want to use something from our journey as evidence for an argument. Let's quickly confirm the information in it. Just think of it as a refresher, alright?
Alright, let's go.
You defeated the Hydro Archon in the very first duels you took part in at the Opera House. That's one for the history books, all right?
Dia banyak banget.
I didn't think that you'd wind up getting to the bottom of the case I'd been following all this time. I guess you could also... This is the first time Monsieur Nervilette had a difference of opinion with the Oratrice. A Fatui Harbinger. She's an extraordinary... The fortress of Meripede was almost destroyed in a single day. According to Monsieur Nervilette, both child... The words of someone as extraordinary as a witch can probably only be truly... I nearly lost my awesome friend Navia. To be honest, that still gives me shivers.
Ayo, kita bersidang. Aku nggak sidang ini.
The prosecution and the defense are both in position. The trial shall now begin.
Nervilette. There's no need to repeat all the Just fast forward to the part where the prosecution lays out my offenses. As the defendant, of course, it is only natural for humans to struggle to understand.
That's true. But my charge here is unrelated to your conduct as an Archon. Instead, I would like to charge you as a fraud who's never been the Archon in the first place.
Wait, what was that? Lady Farina's a fraud?
Hey, I came here thinking that we were going to try the Hydro Archon for forsaking her duty, but...
Charge accepted. Lady Farina, do you plead
Lady
guilty
Farina.
to the charge? Lady Farina.
I plead not guilty. How can I be guilty?
Guilty.
There is no way that I, Focalor, otherwise known as Farina de Fontaine, a member of the Seven and the Regina of all waters, kindreds, peoples, and laws of Fontaine, could be anything other than your true.
Yeah, even though Lady Farina can be rather eccentric.
Yeah, I've never questioned her identity either. Sure, Lady Farina can be super irresponsible.
I have cause to believe that common sense will prevail in this case. Many of the members of the audience have known me as the Hydro Archon ever since they were... See? Even the Oratrice has just... If you wish to drop the case, I can promise you as the God of Justice.
An argument with near impossible odds, huh? You have to not only refute Farina's claims, but also...
Well, I tried to give you the chance to surrender. If you must persist, and if I was not the Archon, then how did I manage to live?
Okay. Jadi harus dari sini. Tapi ada yang berwarna putih, ada yang berwarna hijau.
First of all, you may be a member of another long-lived race, which would allow you to naturally possess an extended lifespan. And second...
Who gave you that idea? Was it the knave? You'd sink so low as to use a harbinger's words against me.
A curse? I once thought it possible that the aura of an Archon might naturally resemble a type of curse. But in light of this claim, perhaps what I sensed was not your divinity, but a curse after all.
Neverlet sensed it too, huh?
Lady Farina is actually a human?
Well, it is true that it's extremely difficult to tell humans and gods apart just by...
Well, don't start celebrating too early now. Even if I have been carrying... Besides, everyone knows that the main difference between a human and a god is the possession of authority. God, for centuries, manifestations of my authority have served the... One need only to turn their eyes towards the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal.
You tried to reference the Oratrice. But weren't you as confused as all the rest of us when the Oratrice declared Child to be guilty without any proof? Otherwise,
Didn't I make myself clear at the time? The decisions of the gods are naturally difficult for humans.
Lady Farina, I believe a reminder of your current circumstances is while the court is in session. The principles of justice and the law must come before all else. While you are an arc, you will prove yourself unable to defend against the prosecution's charges if you continue to withhold vital information.
I never thought you'd use that kind.
That was no trick of rhetoric, Lady Farina. I've merely reiterated the rules of the court. Rules that all should respect and...
So, you neither knew why Child was declared guilty, nor did you understand the structure and operations of the Instead of having been created by you, the manifestations of authority you mentioned have been made by the real Hydro Archon, haven't they?
The real Hydro Archon. Well, it is true that I did not know why the Oratrice gave out a guilty verdict that day. But the Oratrice handed out that verdict unilaterally, and it has been operating independently You can't argue that just because a divine creation is flawed, that the...
She's still throwing out all kinds of excuses. Seems like she's confident that we won't be able to produce proof that she has no power over the Oratrice.
My power as an Archon. There are many ordinary citizens in the audience.
If that poses a concern, I'm prepared to extend my protection.
You don't need to go that far.
Aren't you the Hydro Archon? Or is it that you can't even wield the power of Hydro?
Indemnitium! Yes! It's all because of Indemnitium! All Archons derive. Thus did I give up all of my divine power to provide everyone with energy for their
Isn't that?
Yeah, no matter how generous an Archon can be, how could they give up all their power? Can a god with no power even still be called...
Seems like nobody's buying Farina's excuse.
Hey, come now, everyone. Please don't stare at. I'm still the same Farina you knew, right? The one that you love, please.
If what the prosecutor said is true, she really has committed a...
Did she deceive all of us? And all of our parents and grandparents too? And all...
Enough. That's enough. Tell me then, if I'm not the real Hydro Archon, if you have no evidence of another Hydro Archon's existence, nor can you find...
Wow, she came up with yet another argument.
Coba.
That doesn't sound right.
Ke sana. Kayaknya ini. Ya. Atau bukan? Oh, berarti ya pengen ini. Enggak juga. Ini. Berarti. Oh, benar ini.
That all Fontanians can dissolve in water from the primordial sea. And that means...
Since you insist on claiming to be a god and not a human, then there's a method that you can use.
Miss Navia, please apply to serve as a temporary attorney for the prosecution before addressing the court. Though you acted...
Super sorry, Monsieur Chief Justice. I've brought some seawater from Poisson. As everyone knows, a massive flood struck the area, including those of some of my close... So, Miss Farina, if
we are to believe that you are indeed the real Hydro Archon, touching the seawater. But if you don't dare to touch it, then we would have basically proved the reverse. Oh, and I must remind you that after the disaster at Poisson, nobody wants to. I do hope you'll act prudently and choose the simpler path of admitting guilt.
Navia from the Spina di Rosula. The Spina has governed Poisson for many years.
If Lady Farina is indeed just a human, she's probably Fontanian like all the...
Lady Farina, this test has been unilaterally proposed by the prosecution, as it falls outside the realm of...
Well, of course he had to tell her that. But refusing to participate is...
She's just staring at the water without saying a single word. But it does seem...
What's going on? Is she really planning to...
Due to the inherent risk of the test, Lady Farina.
Hey!
Yeah.
I'm fine! Look at me, everyone! Will you believe me now?
Miss Siegewing? If you're present, Miss Siegewing.
Siegewing? Don't be nervous. It'll just take a few seconds. Let me see.
Kata Siegewing anjing.
That should be enough.
Please announce the results of your evaluation to the court, Miss Siegewing.
As everyone doubtlessly saw, Miss Farina was displaying symptoms of hyperventilation and flush. She was experiencing the adverse effects of exposure to primordial seawater. The extent to which she was affected is the same as...
Thank you, Miss Siegewing. Lady Farina, you may return.
Oh, wait. What did she just say? I didn't get dissolved!
Well, considering your tendency to run from your problems, we did originally prepare a direct sample. However, after extensive discussion, we exchanged it for a sample that is not concentrated enough to dissolve an actual human. We don't want anyone else to lose their life to the sea.
Yeah, so out of regard for Farina's life, you secured a low-concentration sample, and it's a great thing that the direct sample wasn't actually used. Farina could have...
I can't believe... Listen to me, everyone! Please don't think about it! How can you conclusively prove that an Archon can't? Also, if I was really just...
Tidak tamat lagi, Purin.
Please, everyone, anyone, just listen to me! I swear, I really am your Archon!
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway anyone. The odds are just too stacked.
With all the things that have been said, Paimon doesn't think there's any way left for...
I believe the time for arguments and presentation of evidence has come to an end. If there are no objections, we will move on to the final judgment.
Tongkat itu kayak palu.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway anyone. It's too stacked against her now.
Jadi tuh duduk dia kan.
In my capacity as Chief Justice, I shall now render judgment on Farina's misrepresentation of herself as the Archon of Fontaine. As a human who knowingly deceived her fellow citizens, Farina is... guilty.
Guilty. Pas episode ramalan.
Oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinale to render the final verdict on the chart.
Seperti itu di ramalannya.
According to the judgment, of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Karna.
Well, what's wrong? What's the Oratrice's verdict?
No, the Oratrice also displays a guilty verdict.
Isn't that correct then?
However, the exact wording of the verdict is thus. The Hydro Archon.
Archon Hydro yang bersalah, bukan Furina.
To be punished via the...
That's actually one of the available sentences? I've always...
The one and only time the death sentence has been handed out at the court. And it's been given to the very person we've worshipped as the god of justice? What an
Furina's been sentenced to death by the Oratrice? We just wanted to use the trial to show her the seriousness of things so she'd tell us the truth.
This outcome is indeed quite strange. According to Fontaine's current definitions of justice, is this sentence really appropriate for the crimes that have been committed?
Yeah, even Masih wasn't sentenced to death by the Oratrice. You know, the real evil mastermind behind the serial disappearance.
Archon Hydro bukan Furina.
Indeed. Not only is Furina's sentence overly excessive, the very point of our trial today was also to prove that Furina... But now, the Oratrice seems to have deliberately invoked the title of the Hydro Archon. What does this mean?
Iya, benar. Apa ini maksudnya? Ya, yang ku nangis.
Excuse me, if I may interrupt. Is the trial still going?
Fremine! Oh, you finally made it.
Mm-hmm. Any mission Father assigns to me will...
Father. Gelap udah nangis ya.
That the first prophecy slate?
Ini pertama, ini ramalan pertama.
Huh. So the knave privately arranged for Fremine to try and...
I looked everywhere and finally found it at the bottom of the sea. It took me a long time to get around some
Penyelam cok nih, penyelam yang handal.
But has the trial already concluded? Then doesn't that mean I've come too late? Oh no. Father will be disappointed.
Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Fremine. Please allow me to review the record left on the slate. Traveler, I believe that you have already seen the other existing slates. I would like you to come here and...
Yuk, let's go, lanjut.
Huh? So what do you see? What is it?
I believe I have now made sense of the Hydro Archon's crime. It
Hydro
has to
Archon.
do with Fontaine's lost history.
Huh? Isn't the Hydro Archon just guilty of deceiving her people? Oh, wait, no, that's Furina, and we've already proven that she's not that. So when you say Hydro Archon, do you mean the real Hydro Archon we've been kinda talking about?
In truth, everything that you've encountered in Fontaine up until this point can be traced back. However, I'm uncertain as to how much sense they currently make to you.
Okay, let's try to recall the contents of the other 3 stone slates.
Okay.
Emma will do her best to help you remember.
Gue suruh ini mencocokkan lagi aja gak?
The first stone slate describes what you just said. It seems to show the previous Hydro Archon using her divine power, and then the Oceanids turn into humans.
Okay.
Does that mean that Fontanians are
Cuman
Oceanids?
Oceanids?
Oh, Paimon wasn't expecting that. But if Oceanids can turn into... The second stone slate shows Celestia floating in the sky, and the Hydro Archon and her people worshipping it together. But the heavens still brought judgment down upon them.
Okay. Klik ya, klik nggak bisa suasin.
Point when the Hydro Archon and the Fontanians were branded with their original sin.
Itu sama.
The original sin and the third slate shows the Hydro Archon seeking into the sea surrounded by many people.
Banyak orang. Ini nih. Gimana tuh?
That reminds Paimon, didn't we also watch that happen to someone? Well, the fourth slate is the prophecy the Fontanians have been talking about. people dissolving into... We didn't believe that such a crazy disaster could happen at first, did we? But after...
Nih, dia kemarin. Ini boleh kan? Iya benar.
We know from the case of the serial disappearances of young women that Fontanians can...
Oh, dia.
The first stone slate tells us that long ago, the Hydro Archon used her power to turn This might be the reason that Fontanians...
Okay. Oh ini, kayaknya ini yang ini.
That doesn't sound quite right.
Oh salah, mungkin bukan. Shielded?
That doesn't sound...
Salah. Ini. Saya mungkin jatuh cok dia. Ah, dia kan Burina kah? Benar Burina dong, oke.
What is about to take place has
Dia Burina bakal di sini.
the true sin of the Hydro Archon that Nervalet mentioned, and the original sin cast down on the people of Fontaine by Celestia.
Nah ini siapa ini? Jadi bener ini.
As simple as falling into the sea. When the stone slates show the people gathered around the Hydro Archon in the sea.
Oh ya dong.
Could that be alluding to the same thing?
Iya nangis. Salah. Oke, deh. Salah. Ini benar-benar ada.
The prophecy from the stone slates found its way into society. But not the fortress of Meropide was nearly flooded with primordial seawater, which we know can cause if we hadn't dealt with it in time. Things could have gone very badly.
Badly.
They'll dissolve into the primordial sea but won't cease to exist. Their essence will flow in the seawater, converge, and take
Kembali
the
mereka
form
ya,
of The Hydro Archon was sentenced to death in court, shocking everyone present. Perhaps this means that her sin was actually Fontaine's original sin.
Okay.
Navia fell into the water inside those ruins, and she nearly dissolved. She was surrounded by the people of Poisson, and the eruption of the primordial sea at the fortress of Meropide was the surest sign that the prophecy was a... The stone slate's content can all be verified by recent events. If we combine what we know together, loads of truth should...
Okay. Nah, ini kan nggak cuma story gitu loh, gue jadi mikir itu nggak ngantuk gitu loh. Cuman itu doang ngantuk gue.
Oh, Paimon gets it now. So that's how you can make... But then it feels like we're going to have to share some...
Let's hear them.
Incredible. Linny, did you hear that?
We're not real humans.
All Fontanians were originally created by the late previous Hydro Archon, with Oceanids as their base. The evidence for that can be found in how only Fontanians could dissolve in primordial seawater. And how all the girls Vache dissolved were all... Oh, and according to Navia, when she was about to get dissolved, she also saw everyone gathered around for a trial. All of...
Indeed.
Yeah, That could also explain why the Oratrice judged the Hydro Archon to be guilty. It's to account for that ancient sin.
The Hydro Archon's true sin was creating us?
And yet, after many hundreds of years, the Hydro Archon's creations have turned around to try to judge the Archon within the Opera Epiclese.
Yeah, isn't the image here just like when Navia fell into the sea? So wouldn't it be trying to show the image of the Hydro Archon also falling into the sea once the prophecy has been fulfilled in the fourth slate? In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain weeping on her throne. Only, did Paimon get all that right?
You've made some keen deductions. I must say, given how much you still don't know, it is impressive that you've already managed to connect so many pieces of the truth.
Okay.
However, while you were able to decode all the information on the slates, they've also been etched with an additional layer of hidden. When we were at the ruins, I tried to decipher the hidden information recorded in the slates. But since we only had 3 slates at the time, I was unable to come to a full conclusion. Now that the slate collection is complete, I shall make another attempt to decipher the narrative recorded within. If everything goes well, we should...
Well?
I believe I should share this truth not only with you, but with all the people of Fontaine as well. I will try to break your hypotheses regarding the origin of Fontanians and the sin of the Hydro Archon. Correct. In the Fontaine of old, the previous Hydro Archon sensed the yearning of her Oceanid familiars for life on land.
Okay.
The Oceanids were enamored with the beauty and romanticism of human beings, and wishing to have those experiences for themselves, expressed to the Hydro Archon their desire to become of a similar kind. However, even though water as an element is intricately linked with the power of life, the Hydro Archon, as one of the 7, did not possess the authority to create a new form of human life. Not one to give in, she eventually found a way to create permanent humanoid bodies for her familiars by appropriating the power of this planet's primordial... She poured primordial seawater into the Oceanid's blood vessels, creating humanoid mimics in the process. But if Fontanians were to ever come into direct contact with water from the primordial sea, the power within their bodies would escape these artificial restraints and return to the sea. As a result, their forms would collapse, and they would be reverted to their original forms as Oceanids.
Okay.
Of course, the Hydro Archon never received permission from the heavenly principles to create a new human race. And thus, the Hydro Archon and all of her creations came to shoulder the original sin of appropriating the power of the primordial sea. That is the true history of how the people of Fontaine first came into being.
So we were all Oceanids before we turned into human beings?
That's way too much information for me. I think I'm just going to... Wait, but if that's the truth, we can't let the Hydro Archon be sentenced to death. After all, her only sin was creating us.
This really might be too much information for your regular Fontanian.
Alas, your hypothesis regarding the 3rd and 4th stone slates was inaccurate. The slates' respective positions are, in fact, correct. A key point of the visual on the 3rd slate is how all the individuals depicted in the water are human. They have not been dissolved, which implies that the water depicted in this slate is not... The nation of Fontaine is the nation of Hydro. Trials and justice. You may also recall Navia's experience. When she fell into the sea, her consciousness was surrounded by that of many others who intended to hold a trial to... Therefore, the meaning of the 3rd slate is that the people of Fontaine shall try the Hydro Archon at the court of justice. Yes, it refers to...
I think I'm following now. So, what you're saying is, even though we decided to put on this trial to avoid in truth, everything we've done has happened exactly as the prophecy...
What should we do?
No matter what, the prophecy will be fulfilled.
If that's the case, does that mean the scene in the 4th slate...
Traveler, I would like to point out another small fallacy in your deductions. About the 4th slate. You probably thought that the eruption of primordial seawater beneath the fortress of Meripede served as the surest sign that the prophecy... However, I believe that rather than being a sure sign, that eruption could in fact only be a small warning of something. As for the root cause of the catastrophe, I believe you've already encountered it once before.
Masa kah? Jangan, anjir. Oke. Lanjut lagi, anjir.
The eruption was just a small warning of the things to come. We must find...
It was both dream
Bener gue kan?
and reality.
Bener kan? Tahu sih itu, Jak. Bener gue.
If we're talking about a true culprit, that could only be that thing inside the primordial sea, right?
Bener gue.
The truth, the original sin, the trial,
Semua paham
and the
kan?
root cause of the disaster.
Datang. Dia dah hapus, Cok, pesannya. Kamu tahu.
That was way too close! How did that thing just burst into the opera house? Wait, was that the huge whale you saw in your dream?
So we've met it at last. I understand very well why it has chosen to make an appearance here. That whale does not belong to Teyvat. It is a monster that has traversed the stars, weeping all the while. It has been greedily consuming the energy from the planet's primordial sea, using it to grow. That is the main... And once it has finished consuming all of the energy contained within the sea...
You said that when the Hydro Archon first created Fontanians out of Oceanids, she filled their blood vessels...
Precisely. That whale finds the blood of Fontanians. Therefore, when it left the primordial sea, it decided to make its next stop a packed opera house.
We just barely managed to push it back, right? In that case, won't it come back to target the people?
That is correct. Indeed, it is more accurate to say that we should thank that Harbinger for buying us some time. From the way he looked, he must have been fighting the creature for quite a long time.
That battle maniac. We've always known that he had a special connection with that whale, but we definitely didn't expect it to help us out like this. Anyway, now that we know that the whale is the
gurunya kan ya? Oh salah? Lupa lagi.
do to stop the prophecy would be to find a way to beat it up, right?
It is too late. It had already absorbed too much of the primordial sea's energy before we could notice it. At this point, it has become practically even if the entirety of Teyvat were to be destroyed, it could still survive.
That's not... We've already done everything we can, and we've come so far. You
Indeed. That's not how a grand performance should end.
I'll fight it to the end. No matter what.
So the prophecy will be fulfilled no matter what, huh?
The prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesied will be fulfilled. You may
Benar,
use such
Masih.
things as the history of the future. Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods. Could things be happening in hidden corners where the gods gate? Ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter what will happen in Tevat's future.
Aku mau konsumsi untuk 4. Purina yang tahu.
What's happening with the aura trees?
I believe it is preparing to carry out the death sentence.
Farina! No, I still need answers.
Wah.
Sorry. That shocked expression on your face is just too amusing. I couldn't help myself.
You are not Farina.
Who are
Who
you?
are you?
Ah, the sweet sound of bewilderment. Marvelous. A sure sign that my attempt to deceive everyone was a resounding success. But to answer your question, I am Fosalor. You know, the god.
Fosalor. Why did you deceive us?
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. Goodness, no. But I had to fool everyone else too, if I was to stand any chance of deceiving the heavenly principles.
Deceiving the heavenly principles?
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. One was not amused. In fact, one was positively bemused when that problem was thrust upon me by my dear. She knew full well that the prophecy would surely come to pass. And as one of the 7, she also knew full well that one defies the heavens. So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather impossible. I spent a terribly long time mulling it over, alone on the ocean floor. And I was almost growing I had to outwit the heavenly principles. Allow the prophecy to be. I'm a genius, I know. I can, although, looking back now, it was hardly the inheritance one dreams of. Between the task of saving the nation, the quotidian duties of the Hydro Archon, that one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than I chose to be one of her Oceanid familiars.
So you were also once one of the Oceanids, transformed into a human by Egeria's hand.
Yes, I was. always dreamed of becoming human. And I still
dia juga
do,
sianit, Cok.
even now. After becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit, leaving behind only a self that was as naive and bewildered as the me you see before you now is that divinity. And the human
Tanya,
counterpart
aku
I
dengar.
left behind, I named Farina. She could feel joy, sorrow, and everything in between. She could be as vain. Her strengths were of a kind only a human could possess. But in my eyes, Farina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human in every way. Anyway, so then I cursed her. All part of the plan, of course. The plan to deceive the heavenly principles. Do you still remember the final scene of the prophecy? The Hydra Archon alone, weeping on her throne. In order that the prophecy might appear fulfilled, I invited Farina to be an actress to play the part of the Hydro Archon in the prophecy. Under the curse I placed on her, so long as I, Fosalor's divinity, continued to exist,
Gua mau
she could
aku
not die.
bilangin semuanya dulu.
But nor was she free to live her life.
Salah.
Stage in the opera house, to embrace the role of leading lady, to forever play the part of the god from the prophecy, all to create a deceitful appearance of that prophecy coming to pass. I suppose now you probably understand why your court is called the Opera Epiclese.
But Farina is only human, isn't she? Even though she has had a long life, her mind is no stronger than that of any other ordinary human being. I cannot begin to fathom what she has had to endure. It must have been torture for her.
It has indeed. And although she is, in a sense, me in human form, I most definitely owe her an apology for it. It's been 500 years, and all along, she's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely, and agonizingly painful opera of all time.
Oke, kayaknya belum bisa dapat deh. Megasinya aja.
Oh, who permitted you to come onto the stage? Now, I understand your admiration for my august self. All right. It is not my intent to reprimand you. There is no need to state your name. Just be off with you. Do not distract me from my performance. Oh, do not jest. Can you not feel it? I am Fosalor. The eyes of countless Fontanians are upon me. I must, at all times, display the utmost elegance and nobility.
Merepotkan. Balik lagi.
Dear audience, the performance is experiencing a technical difficulty, but worry not. The guards shall resolve it soon enough.
Let's light it. Here comes the catch. Quietly now. Take it easy.
Hey, what gives? The audience is still watching me, you know. Guards? Wait, where are the guards? Guards!
Things are about to get dicey.
Terminal Furina.
Farina. Farina?
Huh? Who's that? Who's calling me? Where are you?
Be not nervous. Be not afraid. I am before you.
Wait a moment. You're near me? How can...
Near you, huh?
Near me? What do you wish to say?
The prophecy.
What prophecy? Oh, wait. The people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Arc.
Oh.
What's going on?
Yes, it will.
But doesn't that mean everyone will die?
Nggak
I'm a
nonton sih.
Fontanian just like them.
Gue bakal hilang layar semua.
Oh, don't worry. Magical meetings exist in this world precisely to give people a chance to turn things around. It is the reason why you met me today. I will tell you how to save everyone, but you may have to suffer somewhat.
Oh, so there's still hope after all. Goodness, you frightened me. You spoke so much and with so much certainty. As for the suffering, well, I will admit that the first thing that came to mind was, why do I have to be the one to suffer? But if the prophecy will come true, I'll also die anyway, right? So, if there were scales, with all the people of Fontaine on one side,
Bersihin dulu ya.
on the other, is it not obvious where the scale...
You truly are. I suppose this would also be the justice that belongs.
Huh?
Don't worry, it's nothing. Listen well. Fontaine has just lost its Hydro Archon. I need you to play
as...
That's right. You must begin a never-ending masquerade. If you can keep it up, then I shall have my way of defying this prophecy. But
how will I do this? A human assuming the role of...
Don't worry. What you must do is not to turn yourself into a real god. You simply being a human yourself. I'm sure you already know what. Remember, your true challenge will not be pursuing divinity, but contending.
I'm still not sure I understand. So, how long am I going to have to play?
To accomplish this mission, you will have to stay on the stage for many, many years. But I promise you, all will eventually end.
Trial. Huh.
Oke. Tidak ada pengalaman.
The Maison Cardinalise has announced my accession, but this is my first time facing the people. What should I say to most appear like a god? To be honest. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome to the Opera Epiclese. I'm sure you've all heard about how I have taken on the role of Hydro Archon. Indeed, I am Farina de Fontaine. In truth, I know little about becoming a nation's new god, but it will be my honor to guide you all as the god Focalor, the god of justice. I shall do all within my power to lead. Once again, thank you all for coming. I thought I might stammer, but thankfully, I was able.
That's the new Hydro Archon. Is this some kind of joke by the Maison? I would have thought that a being that surpasses humanity.
Hey, did you hear that? She even told us to send her suggestions.
Shouldn't gods be all-powerful? She's being so modest. What's the difference?
If you ask me, perhaps the succession didn't actually happen. She might just...
Wait, what's going on? Why is everyone so right? Near me, calm down, Farina. Think, assertive. With a strong
Farina tuh
sense of
taunya ini maksudnya
to dispel all. There now. I was wondering if some weak puppet were to one day come onto the stage and claim ownership of this opera house. Well, it seems that you would all see right through them. Having passed my test, you are qualified to witness wondrous trials. Oh, you may consider my previous act a door gift of sorts. I thought, now then, let us be reintroduced.
So that was just a performance. How could I have forgotten that we were...
Personality? It's quite shocking, to be honest. I suppose it's a better look than before.
Mending daripada sebelumnya.
Fascinating and full deity. How wonderful. Our future may yet be bright after all.
Okay.
It seems I've turned them around. Best follow this flow and restart my accession speech. My dear people, whether you acknowledge me or not, whether you trust me or nay, I say to
Sama yang rumah juga nih kayaknya.
faith in your we have heard
Wes ini lama banget. Jam 4
no longer be washed away. The scales of justice should may law be the prayer on our lips. May judgment be our worship. Let us light the fire. There is no trouble so long as I, the arch.
Gedung Opera Purina.
Lady Farina, here are today's case reports as well as a summary of the follow-up for your...
Come now. Was I not just at the Opera House in person? Besides, none of these trials were the one that I'm looking forward to.
If I may be so impertinent, what...
A magnificent, dramatic, and wondrous trial.
That's true, I fear I lack the ability...
No need for fright. And do not take what I said before too seriously.
Itu mengapa sih adegan sih? Tidak tahu poin pentingnya udah sih, udah. Tahu poin pentingnya.
No need. All right.
He's...
Yang tahu itu udah. Cepet aja, cepet. Gua mau speedan dari bro.
Lady Farina, here are the latest hydrological reports. As for the specific parameters you asked to take note of, I'm afraid things still don't look good.
I see. It's as I thought then. All manner. Really?
I'm...
Biar.
The day is finally over, but it's good to see that everything, maybe this is fine.
Kamu, Vera. Udah.
Lady Farina, here are the new trial reports.
They'll...
Lady Farina.
Indeed, my...
Lady Farina, we're detecting significant...
Understood.
Tapi beratnya yang kayak Mondo, Liwe itu kan nggak tahu ya kayak wujud apapun mereka ya.
Don't know.
Sedangkan Nazuma, Sumeru, oke tahu. Gimana? Konten nggak lan tahu. Yang nyembunyiin tuh Mondo sama Liwe. List Morak itu mengubah tampilannya, bukan kayak mereka tahu tapi Morak selalu mengubah tampilannya waktu ya itu waktu awal-awal kan aku sadar. Anjir dah berapa tuh?
I've heard that the first...
Are you crying?
This must be the overflow of hydro from my person. Well, can't quite help being the god who's demented. So interminable. Hundreds of years must have passed by now. I never imagined. Have I reached my limit? No, I want to tell someone, anyone, that I have conducted so many investigations across the century. All I can do is keep heart. I must maintain.
Kayak Queen di cermin ya. Biar dari gen berapa? Purina dan dannya. Oke.
Farina, you don't have to shoulder this burden alone. Although I don't know what you might be keeping from everyone. Your people are more than willing to share your burden with you.
Share my burden. That's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this...
But even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, you can still choose to confide in someone. Just share it with me.
Yes, I've heard that you came to Tevat from beyond the stars, yes? In other words, and if Tevat is, in its entirety, a show on a stage...
He's right. I could confide in him, couldn't I? But if things don't play out as expected, the people of Fontaine will be... No, Farina. But what if... Farina, you've worked so hard for so long. Is it such an outrageous thing to do anyway? To find someone...
Alhamdulillah. Sin.
Surely, if you let this opportunity slip, it might never come by again. Think about it long and hard.
No, I have nothing to say. All you need to do, dear spectator, is to...
Fine.
5. Stay. Hilang. Adegan selanjutnya.
So even Farina doesn't know the truth? You've never once let her in on the full plan?
Yes, it had to be done. To deceive the heavenly principles, you must first deceive yourself. She did very well. If she had let her resolve falter even once in these 5 centuries, Fontaine would have been doomed to the most tragic fate. It seems that trusting humanity was the right decision after all.
I believe that I understand how your deception works, but that is only half the truth, is it not? How would you build on this foundation to save the people of Fontaine? That is the most important thing.
Good. Of course, the Udex of Fontaine has pinpointed the crux of the
Udex.
issue. I'm sure you've long sensed that the Oratrice is no simple machine, yes?
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Lenny did mention that he heard a human voice within the core chamber. It now seems that that person was you, hidden within the machine all along. Am I right?
And then I became one with the Oratrice, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me. Yes, it would seem so, wouldn't it? Alas, your understanding of this device still lacks sufficient depth. In truth, it is no enactor of justice. It is, in fact, a device created to kill the god of justice.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, you have it. And to be more precise, not only will the Oratrice take down the god of justice, it will also take down the divine throne upon which she has been placed. I mean, did you think I would be the sort to enjoy peaceful repose while Farina suffered? My work over these last 500 years has been to constantly accumulate indemnitium within the Oratrice. But really, some have already discovered that only a small fraction of the energy generated by the device was ever used to provide power to Fontaine. The vast majority had to be accumulated to enact this death sentence.
It was all a part of your plan then? Both the trial and the sentence?
Indeed. This power, accrued over 5 centuries, could have sustained Fontainians for millennia had it only been used for that purpose. Almost all of it has now been stored within the Oratrice. But only power of this magnitude could hope to destroy the Hydro Archon's divine throne, shaking the rules established by Celestia and breaking through the institution that is the Seven.
The Oratrice's call for death was for neither Farina nor Focalor, but for the Hydro Archon. The destruction of that divine throne. If I do not misunderstand your intent, you must be...
Returning what's rightfully yours to you, of course. In other words, this was all done to return the authority of the Hydro Archon to the Hydro Dragon of this planet.
But...
Oh, what? Getting sad again, are we? The authority of the ancient dragons shall soon be yours once more, O Hydro Dragon Sovereign. And this is the face you make.
all you've done throughout the years is just so you can sacrifice yourself at the very end.
I've never quite seen it that way, you know. Even now, I'm quite pleased at how well my deception worked.
Jerlah.
Hydro Dragon, don't cry. I must say, had it been within my rights, I would have loved to judge the heavenly principles themselves. Were they not guilty of essentially the same crime? Egeria stole the power of the primordial sea, and the heavenly principles stole the power you ancient dragons possessed. I, for my part, am the god of justice. And is it not just that your original powers should be returned to you? Speaking of justice, I have always believed that justice lies in the process of pursuing human existence itself. So, if the theft of the primordial sea's might was Fontaine's original sin, then, leaving matters of procedural right and wrong aside, the descent of the Fontanians as humans and their right to exist in this world would be Fontaine's original justice. In other words, existence was Egeria's justice. Justice is the continuation of
Oke, cepatlah. Wah. Masih lama anjir. Si ngomong mulu, Cok. Tapi seru sih. Tadi gue ngantuk soalnya.
That should be the justice enthroned over all.
Pas cutscene tadi. Pas cutscene pause.
We, whether it be myself or all other Fontanians, have shouldered the burden of this sin for far too long. Iudex Nervilette, the highest judge in our land. When you regain your full power as an elemental sovereign, what verdict shall you pass upon us?
So when I was invited to the court of Fontaine to serve as Iudex, I see now that that was your idea too. At last, I now understand the true purpose behind this position. In the beginning, I was uninterested in human existence. But these 5 centuries of living alongside them have gradually brought about mutual understanding between us. And I have even attempted to feel as they feel. You are a devious one, Focalor. Things being as they are, surely you know that I could never declare them to be guilty.
The hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come. I know I may not with death. I find myself a little afraid. Perhaps this is one thing both gods and humans have in common. Farewell, Nervilette. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
Judex Nuvelet, hereby declare, people of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
Karna. Real, bagus ya.
What just happened? Has the
Jai.
sentence been carried out?
Ya, nanti selesai.
Bright light, some sort of misdirection. I have a feeling that something huge just
Kenapa
happened.
rekod?
But since we're all still alive and haven't been dissolved, I assume whatever happened was good for—
It's time to end this. We must mete out punishment to that beast.
Didn't you say just a moment ago that I can't—
I have gained the strength sufficient to deal with it. Through certain means, I now have the
tak ada yang mau
separated
gitu, oke.
power of the prime. We should seize the opportunity to pursue our quarry. Traveler, now that the oratories can no longer function, I require an executor to help me mete out justice.
Langsung jadi argo jualnya.
The root of the calamities befalling Fontaine, the beast that enacts the prophecy. Its name is the all-devouring narwhal. Come with me, traveler. The hour of execution has come.
Yes. Go. Maybe. Ini usah ya. Singkat dong, tadi sih penting sih.
We're going to execute it? But how are we going to do that? It's huge!
I have already done my best to separate the power of the primordial sea from the whale. But considering the size of the beast, I cannot reach the power source. Unless we can find a way to attack it from within. I shall share a part of the ancient dragon's power with you. We shall look for an opening together.
Everyone hold it?
I can feel its sorrow turning into hostility.
I see everything!
Busted. Huh? I'm going in.
There is no escape.
Off we go.
The all-devouring narwhal cannot resist its instinct to devour. Continue to trigger its hostility. Chance will present itself.
Shine down.
Why is there a hole-looking thingy over there? It looks really scary! Full of wisdom.
Here comes the catch. Everybody stand back.
Shine down. Inazuma shines eternal. Ha!
I have granted you my protection. Do not fear. Seize the moment and use my power to suppress its root from within.
Shoot! I can't afford any more bandages. I'm going in.
Manifest the authority of the ancient dragons. Witness the might of the primordial sea.
Let's light it up.
Everyone hold it?
Busted.
Oh, diambil kekuatan primordialnya. Anjir. Anjir. Dibuat-buat.
Thanks for helping with the cleanup. Should have been my job, but it was just supposed to be a short private training session for me. I didn't think that my disciple and my master's pet would start brawling in the meantime. Well, actually, I had a feeling that it would happen at some point, but they bumped into one another earlier than I thought. What a blunder. I suppose I'll have to swing my sword 3 million times as—
That power. Who are you exactly?
Asia.
Paimon has an idea. From what she said earlier, she must be Child's master. Skirk, right? It's just that he gave us the impression that she was the less talkative person.
I simply did not have anything to say to the weak. But you, on the other hand, managed to defeat the all-devouring Nar— so you may speak to me as equals. I have to agree. It's a strange use of a planet's primordial waters just to raise an all-devouring narwhal. That kind of power is wasted on it. It's not cooperative. It eats too much. And I have more important things to do with my time than pet sitting. The only thing that creature has going for it is its looks. All in all, it fails as a pet.
Miss Skirk? I think you might have missed the point.
The point being?
Well, being that this pet almost destroyed an— So what sort of person is your master? Well, Child's master's master. Wait, is that right?
Oh, right. So you don't know him. Sorry, his name is Sertologi.
Sertologi? Siapa?
I am unfamiliar with...
Huh. So Master is insufficiently famous.
The Foul.
How should I describe him then?
The Foul?
Still nothing? Well, how about the Visionary?
Gold.
Shadowfalnir then? Or Gold Rhine-Daughter?
Ooh, that one we've heard. Rhine-Daughter's part of the Hexen Circle. She's obeyed us—
Oh, so you do know that name. To be honest, I also heard all of those names and titles from my master. But I suppose you understand now, yes? My master is likely a similar sort to Rhine-Daughter. They are both pursuing some form of perfection.
Wait, didn't you also mention a visionary person? Paimon didn't quite catch their name.
Actually, never mind that. I believe it expedient to inform that the all-devouring narwhal used up nearly all its strength fighting you. Such roiling hydro energies will prove difficult for the planet. As such, the fontaine back on the surface has most likely been thrown into— In other words, the prophecy that you've been fretting over should now be in full swing.
What?
Not to worry. Focalor has already managed to deceive.
Okay.
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters.
Anjir lah,
Only Karina will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
Ow. Tapi nggak larut lagi kan ibaratnya, kayaknya.
Help! Over here!
initiate emergency rescue.
Anjir.
Hurry!
Hey, lend a hand!
Look! The water's receding!
It's a miracle!
Water's receding.
We didn't dissolve. The prophecy was wrong. The prophecy was wrong.
Are you alright?
We're saved. The prophecy was wrong.
Masih kan? Tamat lanjut Natlan. Belum dapat, masih ada story itu. Masih ada belum. Belum kena Natlan sih. Masih ada di Sumeru. Ngerjain ini aku quest itu yang kemarin. Yang pas MC nih. Aduh, lupa bah. Yang pas MC ketemu apa? Adek Lumen. Terlalu nemu Lumen. Itu dulu nggak sih? Nggak bisa langsung lo? Bisa sih, soalnya langsung lompat bisa sih. Tapi kerjanya dulu satu.
Skyship winglet, boon or bane of the fun. The various disputes that have arisen, people always call the first researcher mad, but wow.
Oh, memang langsung ke Natlan. Ya udah. Gue kan terus persenin Natlan dulu, baru. Sorry.
What do you think? Pretty enthralling, huh? The Steambird's idea was pretty simple.
Memang itu masuk ke Natlan. Ajaknya buka Natlan.
The margins with good news to calm people down. The value for these big scopes lies in their inevitable fall.
Natlan, kebetulan Natlan kecil ya, jadi aman.
The stories behind those. Edwin's assistant Jurier created a true flying ship. Well,
Hyman's curious too.
And that's exactly why I'd like you to come conduct interviews with me.
Are you sure?
Oh, this time will be different. Come on, let's head to Poisson first, and then make a trip to the
Udah
fortress.
100.
There are some things you'll only.
Mono udah 100, tapi tinggal satu lagi. Tinggal satu lagi. Mono dikit lagi namanya. Tinggal 80 ini, tuh. Dragon speed juga sih, belum sih soalnya. Dragon speed sih juga belum. Itu udah 100, tinggal 20 sama ini. 64. Dragon speed sih enaknya pakai dia ya. Tinggal 80 dia itu. Ya palingan itu dulu. Kalau memang bisa ke Natlan dulu. Ya. Kelar Natlan dulu, investasi aja dulu. Tadi nggak record aja udah lah. Nih, mau record, mau itu aja, mau record aja. Ayo, gua mau turun. Tadi gua gantuk asli.
on how things are going here.
Let me introduce you. This is Mr. Garun Snežević. He represented the Knave in sending us a large amount of supply. Our residents are hard at work as well. Thanks to everyone, work is progressing nicely.
Hello, Miss Charlotte. I'm a big fan of yours.
Kalau bahasa Jepangnya nggak ya? Dubbing Jepang nggak ya?
Article you wrote last, but if you
Ini
don't
udah biasa, masa ada bahasa Inggris nih?
emphasize our role too much.
I get where you're coming from. But keep it as simple as possible. Or would you be...
That would be fine. Thanks.
Oh, you're back too. How are things?
We finished laying down the construction materials.
Tinggal 3 giga juga nih.
Tension's greatly risen
Ngomongnya
after
tinggal 3 giga.
that business with Miss Farina. So she's here in Poisson to wait out the heat. All right. She really came here to help me out.
There's too much to consider in the reconstruction of Poisson. The Spina has need of more decision makers. And, well, I do...
Wait just a moment. Do you mind me asking a few questions? You know, about how you felt before the duel?
Forget it. I'm sure you can find a better theme than that.
I see you're the same as always. Couldn't you do me a favor for Navia's sake?
Well, if we're talking about doing things for my sake, you might as well just take a few more photos of me. Or of the Traveler. It's better than wasting time.
Of course I will. I'm not gonna let him off that easy. All right, then everyone who wants to be...
How did it go? Was it a good shot, this Paimon?
Not bad. Your addition really helped the composition of the picture. All right, hang on a moment. Let me snap a few more shots.
Di foto banyak tuh di foto tuh.
All right, that should do it. I'll be back here later anyway, so let's call it a day.
Cek mana palingan lanjut.
You're very
Explor.
Speed is of the essence when it comes to the... Also, not to brag...
Wow, you really...
I'll hazard a guess that this is how you got that interview at the Fortress of Meripede.
Whoa, you're well informed. Let me make a guess too. I asked Sijuin who told Monsieur Nervillet, and he told you, right?
Ada kabar baru buang apa?
Very complete
What
information.
kabar barunya?
In truth, all Monsieur Nervillet asked me was, when did the fortress become so friendly? I told him that it was best not to speak too soon.
You're right.
Benar, ini jadi istriku.
I have with them. In which case,
Halo. 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 Bang, bangun bang. Malah Rejas bangun, Bangun. Cimimpi tuh kayak tuh. Acik. Masih tidur ya itu. Bangun. Mending bangun dah. Kataku sih mending bangun. Mending bangun. Astaga. Banyak lagi belum harus kejar cowok. Konsistenya yang mainin terus yo Genshin sampai pet baru anjir. Besok gak main lagi.
Wow, guess we're here again, huh? There's a real nostalgic...
Looks like you've been missing us.
Duke! Did you come all the way to the entrance?
Of course. I'm here to welcome you and our dear Miss Charlotte, whom our good head
Suster
nurse...
kepala.
It's an honor to finally meet the much-rumored Duke. Thank you for consenting to my visit to the fortress, sir.
No need to thank me. But that said, I shouldn't be the focus of your interview. I trust you...
Of course.
All right then, this way.
This way. Alright then, this way. Gila foto.
Hey, no need to be so nervous. I've already taken... Miss Charlotte, do these...
It would seem that Miss Lorvine doesn't want her face to appear beside that of Mr.
Sir, please don't say things like...
But it looks like dear Mr. Jurier denies it.
No, I just... This is my first time being interviewed, and I'm very thankful.
Now, I might not look it, but I actually did meet Mr. Edwin once. And I'll be honest, I enjoyed chatting with you more. You've definitely got more
Genius.
than
Dia anjir
genius.
hawa kejadiannya.
The boat that brought about a miracle. The ark that saved the... Still, if I might...
Looks like Charlotte's trying to get herself another.
I have to apologize, but that ship is presently in the bowels of our...
Really? Well, then in that case, could I have an interview with you?
You already know my answer, I'm afraid. Best you interview our head nurse instead. Or perhaps you'd like to take another photo?
Did you really have to use the word couple? Well, then, 2 solo photos will do.
Is my hair messed up? Please, someone help me have a look.
Things sure are getting pretty lively here. Oh, seems like everyone's here. Would any of you like to try this new drink I came up with?
Ah, Siegewing.
Hey, Miss Charlotte. What, sure. Come on, Miss Siegewing. Over this way. Let's find a brighter spot.
Huh? Oh, sure. Do I have to smile? So, how have things been at the front, Chris?
Same old, as you can see. Fontaine's undergone some changes, but this place is still more or less...
Other than that flying ship, it got a tad too much attention, I think.
That's why I decided to let the interview go through. We should direct more public opinions toward the behind-the-scenes heroes. Am I right, Mr. Jurier?
Anjir, pahlawan di belakang layar kan tuh anjay.
Fine, sir. I believe that you too should have your day in the sun.
I'll just... I see. Lots of things happened that day, huh? Anyway, regarding that Harbinger, I'm not sure you remember, but his 3 young followers are still with...
He sure did win them over, huh?
I'll tell them that there's good news and bad news. The good being that their boss seems fine, and the bad being that they must face extended sentences for abetting...
Oh, actually, what about you? Are things...
What change can there be? The fortress will keep chugging along, and so will my duty. As to what Miss Farina's departure will mean for the nation, and if our laws and governance will be transformed, we'll leave those to the folks in the overworld.
Hey, everyone. The photo shoot's done.
Good. In that case, let's call it a day.
Thanks for your cooperation. Come on, Traveler, let's go. Till next time, everyone.
There'll be a next time?
Maybe. Who knows? I might write a story about the underwater factory next time. Until then. All right. Last stop, the docks.
The docks. Terakhir kah? Oke, ini ujung banget. Ini fonten gede banget, cok. Gak gede sih, kecil sih warnanya sih. Masih kecil ya. Yang gede itu ini anjir. Cuma ya, begini pada pasir. Waduh, males. Ini kecil nih. Nih, nggak terlalu susah. Tapi pasti belum semua itu nak tuh kayak masih ada yang lain. Modul udah kecil juga. Fontennya udah gede. Gede juga nih fonten. Yes, bisa kah Google Ter nih? Turun gua. Saya.
Take it easy.
Berkelip yang kayak gini. Lompat. Ih, salah kocak. Salah. Gak lompat kocak kan gitu, kocak. Mati nanti. Oh, gua. Oh. Iya, jadi banyak kapal di sini. Itu juga, nah itu kecil aman.
Navia mentioned that she stayed in touch with Linny and the others after working together. Apparently, they've been at the docks distributing these strict...
Traveler, Paimon. Ah, and Miss Charlotte, too.
Would you like a magic pocket? What sort of gadget is it? It's a wondrous bag that can be used to carry many things. The water level has returned to normal, but if you see any of your things floating around, you can use this to carry them. Or you could trick a friend. You could just make a friend like Fremine here. Isn't that right, Fremine?
Is this what you meant by I'll help you make some more
Sama teman tempo hari.
To be honest, that sounds pretty sweet. Could I have your contact, please?
Lynette sure is working hard to help Remine social.
He was the one who proposed doing this. He even wants to assist in our magic shows.
Yes, I was planning to first introduce Pear as an assistant, and later Fremine himself. In the future, I think we can leave under...
That said, would anyone want to see a diver escape underwater?
Oh, it'll work out. Every journey begins with the first...
Lynette, could you come over? Miss Charlotte says she...
Got it.
My, that Charlotte is rather perceptive. She got rid of everyone the moment she realized I had something to say. Father says that you did a great deal during the latest events.
That's alright. We were more than happy to help.
Oh, I guess you haven't heard. After Lady Farina left, Father and Monsieur Neuvillette opened negotiations, during which he gave Fontaine's gnosis to her as a diplomatic gift.
A diplomatic gift?
Yes, I was quite surprised at first myself.
Kan nggak kepake lagi gnosis kan ya? Kekuatannya udah di infiltrate semua.
It could have been done as an apology for the incident with Lord Child, or as thanks for his help in tying the all-devouring. Furthermore, Father did also lend significant aid.
That's true, but this is a gnosis we're talking...
I would agree, but I've also heard that it's...
So there's some reason for this that
I suspect you'll have to ask him about that yourself. Ah, yes, speaking of which, I did see him...
Isn't he real busy and stuff? But back to the topic. The gnosis was given to the knave, right?
They say that he's returned to Snezhnaya to recover from his wounds. I hear that the recent disaster really did a number on his...
Visionnya masih di itu loh.
When you think about it, we've had loads of run-ins with the Fatui. To think we'd be allied with them this time.
So shocked by such a simple switching of sides?
Father!
Well, what do you know? Come to the docks to see how my children are doing and meet the traveler by chance. Please do not pay my accomplishments in Fontaine too much mind. I would have done them regardless.
Are you going to take the gnosis back to Snezhnaya?
That is our duty as harbingers. Don't be too preoccupied with sides. The goal of the Fatui concerns not a single place or person, but the entire world. With such a switching my masks.
Kira si Minggua nge-lag si Minggua tadi. Kata si Minggua nge-lag tadi ya aja bener-bener. Nah si Minggua sih semuanya nge-lag gua. Update cok bener-bener. Anjir tiba-tiba update bego. Tiba-tiba update astaga. Nggak lucu ya Genshin tiba-tiba update kocak. Asli. Lu mau selesai loh itu loh. Tok update 70. Tiba-tiba update ya Genshin. Si tiba-tiba update ya. Genshin kocak gitu kocak. Update dulu lah. Anjir lah. Ada. Gila tiba-tiba update kocak banget Genshin. lagi tengah-tengah quest tau aja tiba-tiba update bener-bener. Ya tanggung ya. Oh, mudahan tanggung, boy. Ngulang sih nggak lucu sih sumpah. Cok, disuruh ngulang gue cutscene-nya. Wah. Gue disuruh ngulang kah ini? Nggak lucu, Cok. Nah, gue disuruh ngulang. Ah, disuruh ngulang anjir. Astaga, disuruh ngulang. Pinter. Suruh ngulang gua.
Navia mentioned that she stayed at...
Traveler, Paimon. Ah, and Miss Charlotte.
Disuruh ngulang. Bener-bener. Genshin kocak ya.
What sort of... It's a wondrous trick a friend. You could just make a friend like Fremine here. Isn't that right, Fremine?
Is this what you...
To be honest, that sounds pretty sweet. Could I have your contact?
Oh.
Lynette sure is working hard to help Fremine so...
He was the one who proposed doing this. He even wants to assist...
Yes, I was planning to first introduce...
That said, would anyone want to see a diver escape underwater?
Oh, it'll work out.
Lynette, could you...
Got it.
My, that Charlotte is rather perceptive. She got rid of everyone the moment she realized I had something to... Father says that... Oh, I get after Lady...
A diplomatic...
Yes, it could have been done as... Furthermore, I would agree. I suspect you'll have...
But back to the...
They say there's return to Snezhnaya.
That's true. When you think about it, we've had loads of...
So shocked by such a simple switching of sides?
Father.
Well, what do you know?
Are you going to take the nose...
That is our dude. Don't be too... Switching my masks is something... Well, that depends on many things. As for you, I very much look forward to our next collaboration. Good things cannot be achieved alone, and you've proved yourselves to be great partners. A vision.
That's a wrap for me.
Huh? Greetings, Miss Journalist.
Hello. If I'm not mistaken, there are diplomatic
That is correct. So forgive me, but I will not be able to serve as a subject in your article. However, feel free to write as much as you'd like about... The sea breeze is quite pleasant.
Farewell, Father.
Oh, she has such an intimidating presence. I didn't even dare to take a picture. Thankfully, I've already wrapped up all my pre-scheduled...
Don't be too nervous. Why don't you take a magic pocket before you go? Here, Traveler, Paimon, you take one.
To move things about?
That's right. Funny. I was giving out magic pockets when we first met too. And what do you know? I guess this must be... Alright then.
Well, guess we sent Charlotte off. Shall we go see how Neverlet's doing? As long as he's not so busy that he doesn't have time to...
New Village kita. New Village jauh banget kocak.
Take it easy.
Yang di situ nanti.
Fortress! Ooh, he really is there! So, you really are here, Neverlet? I didn't think you were going to have...
Really? Oh, I suppose you must have met Mr. Linney. In any case, you came at a good time. I was just considering reaching out to you to set up a meeting.
Aw, I'm glad that you remembered. Thank you for keeping us... Alright, let's have it then. How does Fontaine actually say...
It is strange how words can often leave a bitter taste in the mouth when it finally...
Dari kemarin.
So that's what happened? Lucidor destroyed the divine throne of the Hydro Archon and restored your power to you, transforming you in... But Paimon still doesn't quite get what you did to save the fun...
For me, the authority of the ancient dragons refers to absolute control over the hydro element. Fontanians were incomplete humans born of Egeria's use of the power of the primordial sea, with constitutions similar to that of nymph. But so long as those primordial energies remain within them, I could use the ancient dragon's authority to grant them true blood, after the fashion in which life... In other words, when I gave my verdict, Fontanians became true humans, and thus would naturally no longer be...
Lucidor must have counted on you to make that decision as well. Your verdict was the key to making the prophecy appear to have come true while saving everyone. Yeah, and in a manner of speaking, Lucidor finally managed to fulfill the...
It seems from your expressions that you still have more things you wish to ask. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. I have investigated his case along many avenues, and I have learned that he once fell into an unknown chasm when he was young. There, by chance, he awakened the all-devouring narwhal.
Oh.
But whether it be by sentiment or reason, that should not have been enough to consider him the root cause of the disaster. At most, he would have had tangential liability. As for the judgment passed by the Oratrice during the trial, whether it was due to that liability by association or Focalor deliberately using him to buy time for us on the assumption that he would be able to hold the creature off.
Guess Focalor had Fontanians in mind the whole time. In the end, it was thanks to her that they... hang on a second. Back when Fontanians hadn't yet become real humans, were the children they had also transformed Oceanids?
Life has always flowed like water. Do you recall how Fontanians would often come to the Fountain of Lucine?
Yeah, Lynette said the fountain is where all the waters in Fontaine...
In truth, even those couples did not know that such prayers were no mere custom. Instead, a form of those Oceanids who were blessed within the spring water would later descend as new humans.
Paimon sorta gets it now. Either way...
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. Ah, Lady Farina. The people are only aware that her death sentence has not been carried out. She abdicated the post of Hydro Archon and left affairs related to that title to me. I related Focalor's words to her faithfully and completely. After hearing them, she seemed neither saddened nor comforted. She simply said that she was tired. Having said that, she then packed her things and moved out of the opera house. not unlike how an ordinary person might.
But she's still got a place to stay.
You need not worry. I will make arrangements to ensure that she will not want for food, clothing, board, or travel. In truth, I am somewhat happy for her. The wear and tear on her spirit will, of course, but now that she no longer has to play the role of Fosalor the Hydro Archon, she can finally lay down her burdens and lead a normal life.
What about you then? What are your plans now that you've regained your full powers?
After Fosalor passed on, the Oratrice also ceased to function. This matter will directly affect our trials. After much careful consideration, I've decided to take over its role in our courts. From now on, I shall hear cases and pass...
Looks like you're still considering stuff from the perspective of the Udex, huh?
As an elemental dragon, there are indeed many things that I must do. But this power and this duty... As such, before I attend to my other responsibilities, I must first and foremost continue to...
Salah pencet lagi gua. Astaga. Dah lah. Anjir, ketiga di situ. Tak cotel lah. Gua udah sini di tadi, Cok. Kocak. Ulang lagi anjing, kocak.
Really?
Hati gua.
Oh, I suppose. In any case, you came...
Alright, let's have... So that's what happened? Fosalor destroyed, but Paimon still doesn't quite get what you did to save the Fontanians from dissolving.
Si muter-muter lagi tuh Fuji tuh, astaga. Fuji kocak. Hari muter.
For me, the Fontanians, but so long. In other words, when...
Fosalor must have counted on you to make that... Yeah!
It seems from your expressions that you still have more things you wish to... Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Oh, that's right! They say you've given it...
Leaving aside their intentionality.
Ini nyeselin banget, Cok. Udah 3 kali gini ya. 3 kali gini doang. Ini mulu ya. Ya.
Maybe I'll take one more day off.
Kocak emang mimpi gua. Udah kan? Nih gua juga gak salah, sabar. Oke, udah ya. Jadi sampai di sini dulu nanti minggu kali ini. Makasih semuanya yang udah mampir, udah like, subscribe, thank you banget. And then gak ada lagi gue bilang. Sudah next time. Bye-bye. Dan capek gue ada 2 kali gini, Cok. 3 kali sih. 3 kali gue ngulang quest, sumpah 3 kali doang ngulang quest tidak. Malas gue menanggapi. And see you the next time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Siapa yang di sana? Bye-bye.